It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Yes, it is. It is time again. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook out here at Summerfest by the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. I checked before I came over here to do the show today. $5,000 still up for grabs. You get a hole-in-one at the Hole-in-One Challenge. You win $5,000. Now, once somebody does that, that's off the table. But so far, what are we? This is day 5 of Summerfest.
Yes.
And so far, nobody has been able to get the hole-in-one. Now, again, it's an island hole. It's on a barge. So it is not the easiest of shots, regardless of what Chuck Garbedian from Garbedian and Golf Saturday morning.
I'm going to try again tonight.
You're going to try again tonight?
Oh, I haven't tried it all, I guess, this year. I've tried in the past. This year, no, I'm going to try again tonight.
Yeah, so it should be good. So 3 balls, $10. Come on out here. Give it a chance, whether it be today, tomorrow, or next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That will work, too. Coming up on today's show, we're going to check in with our guy Keith Tozer, again, commissioner of the MASL, coming up here at 2:40. If you heard Keith Tozer last week, we had him on to kind of be our World Cup guy, World Cup soccer guy. The USA lose last night to Turkey last night, and we definitely have to talk about that because the response from the coach of Team USA after that game or match, whatever you call it.
Wait till plead the fifth, Sparky.
What did you say?
I said wait till plead the fifth.
I'm not happy with what his response was last night at all. I don't like it. I mean, I kind of get it. That last night was a deal where the USA, it did not matter if they won or not, right? Because they had already advanced to the round of 32. Turkey, on the other hand, it did not matter for them either because they were going home regardless if they won or not. So what ended up happening? Well, let me tell you what ended up happening. Turkey won and got to go home happy like they just won a Super Bowl because they upset Team USA. Team USA gave up 3 goals to a team that didn't score a single goal in the World Cup until last night, Charlie.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, but it also fits with how the World Cup has played out to this point. A lot of really interesting games that have either ended tied, drawn 0-0, or they end up in upsets like this. It's been really cool to watch this year. Again, I haven't really paid attention that close to the World Cup in the past. I've been watching this year, and it's been a lot of fun compared to what I've at least heard about in the past.
Should be a fun conversation with Mr. Tozer coming up at 2:40. So we'll do that. Play the fifth, like Charlie was saying, brought to you by Havish and Rotier. That comes up at 4:20. Your chance to tell somebody just to shut their mouth. You've talked enough. And whoever that may be in the world of sports, could be a friend, could be a family member, could be some person that bothered you out here at Summerfest. Doesn't matter. That's at 4:20. Then at 4:40, it's Follow the Money with our guy Austin Herdenia from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll find out where everybody's got their money placed for the weekend coming up here the next 3 days. I'm guessing there's still probably a lot of money on World Cup soccer. The U.S. team doesn't play again until Wednesday night in Santa Clara, and they'll play Bosnia. And there is a dude on Bosnia's team, I found out, that played soccer in Appleton, Charlie.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. So not that I'm rooting for Bosnia.
I have some friends that I went to high school with that are like their families from Bosnia and stuff. So I think there just might be a pretty good population of people from Bosnia and Wisconsin.
It could be. Yeah, very well.
It's a nice little melting pot up here. I love it.
It is. Maybe not as big as Chicago or others.
Probably not.
Yeah, no, but it is somewhat of a melting pot. So we'll get to all of that coming up on today's show. Plus, of course, Green and Gold update at 4 o'clock, like always. We are going to talk about this Brewers-Cubs series coming up. And we're going to have Tommy Wirtz out here doing the leadoff show from 5 until 6:30. Why? Because I know there's a lot of Cub fans and Illinois fans walking around out here today with it being Summerfest and all. Like, if this was State Fair, I'd be like, I mean, we might have some Illinois people, but I see Cubs stuff walking around Summerfest. So
I think you see a pretty decent amount coming up to State Fair, too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So
we just have a better State Fair than Illinois.
Much better State Fair than Illinois. I mean, Wisconsin is one of the better state fairs in general in the country, I would say. I want to start off with Brewers-Cubs coming up tonight, though. Cubs are 7 games back in the division. 7 games. That's quite a bit, right? 7 games is quite a bit. Now, is it quite a bit from the standpoint of it being right now in June? No, maybe not. You can make up 7 games rather quickly, I would say, if we're talking about 3 months, 4 months from right now. So still plenty of time for the Cubs to come back. They got to quit putting guys on the IL. They put 2 more pitchers on the IL the other day. So that's part of it. They traded for Dave Peterson from the Mets. He stinks, but they're going to try and add him to their rotation. And now you have Colin Ray tonight against Jacob Mizorowski, which, again, should feature a Brewers victory, you would think. But never, ever, ever say that's going to happen. The game's not played on paper. You actually have to beat the other team when they get out there. My question is this. How big of a series really is this to you as a Brewers fan, knowing how big of a series lead you have right now, how big of a lead you have in the division being 7 games up? Is this still a big series because it's the Trader, because it's the Cubs? Do you still really, really want this as much as you normally do? Because if I'm being honest, I'm not as jacked up or as excited necessarily going into this series. Maybe it's overconfidence, arrogance, cockiness as a Brewers fan right now, knowing that the Cubs just simply aren't as good as we've seen in the past. So that might be all of it, or something having to do with some of that. What about you, Charlie? Where are you at on this series?
Not exactly excited. I think when I watched the Chicago Cubs over the past couple of weeks here, especially this past week, despite them winning games, it wasn't fun watching them win those games. If we wait till plead the 5th, the New York Mets show up on the plead the 5th segment today too. That was not a fun series to watch because the Mets are just dysfunctional and the Cubs were still barely able to eke out wins against those teams too.
You got their manager fired. Mendoza got fired today thanks to the Cubs.
Yeah, because
the Cubs are so bad that when the Mets lost to him, Stearns is like, oh my God, we can't even beat the damn Cubs. Like, you're out of here.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. He was so angry that the Cubs still somehow found ways to win those games because the Mets gave them those wins that he fired his manager. It's crazy. So I think the state that the Cubs fans are in the state that the Cubs are in right now is very desperate. You saw that with the trade of David Peterson just to give them a little bit more oomph, whether it's in the starting rotation or in the bullpen too. Yep. He's there to help somewhat because they're on their last straw here. They're trying to find any possible way. And I think there is a pretty big shot that for the Brewers, the series doesn't matter, but for the Cubs, this will decide the direction they go come trade deadline time, because they need to make that decision soon here. And what better way to make that decision by letting the Brewers force you into that decision?
Brewers ain't messing around. You know, back in the day when Nedley was here as a manager, you'd sit in his office and he'd show you how he had it all scripted out for like the next 2 months. Like, hey, I've got my guys lined up so we get La Russa and the Cardinals, and we got our best pitchers lined up in that slot. You right now have it lined up where your 3 best pitchers are lined up in this Cubs series to where you have Jacob Mizorowski on the mound. Then you have our guy Brandon Woodruff pitching on Sunday, which is obviously good too. Harrison pitching on Saturday. These are their 3 best guys. And the Cubs responded with Colin Ray, who we know isn't all that great, and 2 TBDs, because they're in that much disarray at this point. They don't know what they're going to do. Anything short of 2 of 3, I guess I would be relatively stunned at this point if they don't get 2 out of 3. I almost think like I'm coming into this thing expecting a sweep of the Cubs.
I don't know if I would say I'm expecting a sweep. I expect the Brewers to probably win the series. I don't know if I'm going to be surprised at the same time. The way the Cubs offense can be at points, especially with the way Pete Crow Armstrong has played as of recent offensively, they're able to put up runs. And I think this Brewers team at points kind of goes dry with the runs. And even though you have some really great pitching, we've talked about it in the past, it feels like you're going to get that one stumble maybe from one of these star pitchers. I don't think it's going to be Miz tonight. I fully expect Miz to go out there and mow down the Chicago Cubs. But in these next couple of games, a stumble from your 2 or your 3, I could see that coming, and I wouldn't be surprised. At the same time, I expect the Brewers to go out there and win this series.
How about this for some numbers for the Traders team down in Chicago? March 25th to May 8th, the Cubs were 27-12, 692 winning percentage, best in baseball. From May 9th, from that Brewers series the last time, to June 10th, they were 7-22 for a 241 winning percentage. That's 24%, people. That is worst in baseball by the Cubs. Now, since June 11th to today, the Cubs are 10-3 in their last 13 for a 769 win percentage. That is best in Major League Baseball. Now, just remember, the last time we saw the Cubs, they were 15-0 at home. We were going to Wrigley. People were laughing at me on the talk and text line, thinking the Brewers could go in there and win 2 out of 3 in Chicago. Sparky, they've won 15 in a row. Ha, ha, ha. You really think that's going to happen? Okay. That person didn't text back, I don't think, after that. But again, So just because they're hot doesn't mean they're not beatable. And literally, you have your 3 best pitchers pitching. That's why I say, if they lose 2 out of 3, or God forbid the Brewers get swept in this series, I think I will legitimately be stunned when we get together and talk with Tim Dillard on Monday about what happened over the weekend.
Will you just be stunned? Will you be like, will there be worry at all? Like, is there any kind of this series doesn't hold anything but the ability to stun you?
No, yeah, right. No, I absolutely not. Stunned. Stop. This is a really good baseball team right now. I don't care. I mean, if they lose 2 out of 3 or they get swept, I'm going to be stunned. Like, you've got to be kidding me. That just happened. And that, the response can be, okay, well, anything can happen. It's baseball. It's 6 months. Like, it's not the end of the world if they sweep them. But again, you get to 4 games. Like, that's a huge swing for the Cubs and huge momentum builder. Like, as much as the Brewers ended their momentum last time into the spin cycle going forward out of that, now they come in hot again. If the Brewers put them into another spin cycle out of this and sweep them, and now they go on some other horrible stretch again over, the next 30 games, season's over. Go home. They go another 7-22 stretch here, 15 under in the next, 29, 30 games. That's the end of their season, and they are definitely trading at the deadline at this point. Now, if they come up here and they sweep Milwaukee and they beat Miz and Harrison and Woodruff,
you send them in a spiral the other way.
Yes, correct.
Is that where
now, I mean, you're 10-3. Now all of a sudden you're 13-3. Now you can get some momentum going into the All-Star break. Would it worry me? No, it wouldn't worry me. They're not winning this division. No. No, I don't. I really don't have a ton of worries. I think if you're asking like, okay, Sparky, when would you get worried about this Brewer season? If injuries hit our top 2 starting pitchers, then I would get very, very concerned. Then I'd be like, okay, we don't have enough to make up for a loss of, both, or even if they lose one of the top 2, I think that becomes a problem. They don't have enough to overcome that. They have enough to overcome one, maybe if at the deadline they had to go get somebody to replace Miz or Harrison. Sure, they have enough to do that. But other than that, like offensively, I think this team is fine offensively. Cooper Pratt struggling a little bit here the last couple of games, swinging the bat, but that's good to be expected as a rookie, getting his feet wet for the first time in Major League Baseball. I don't think anybody can be too surprised by that. How big of a series is this to you? Nikolai Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Don't forget, you can stream us as well on X, on Instagram Live, on the Fan Milwaukee Facebook page, and on YouTube. Subscribe and like at WI Sports Radio. At WI Sports Radio. Thanks for listening to The Fan in Madison. Of course, The Fan here in Milwaukee and southeastern Wisconsin. The Game in Wausau, WNFL in Green Bay and Appleton, the Fox Valley. And, of course, The Game in Duluth and Superior. Listening all around the state of Wisconsin right now to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Asking you just how big of a deal is it to you, this series coming up against the Cubs this weekend? Because I don't know. Like, I'm not feeling it at this point. And I thought that regardless of when they played this team, I really would be feeling it. Now, what gets you excited is it's a day that Miz pitches, and anytime that Mizorowski is on the mound, I feel like that's an event where people kind of like make sure they're either recording Mizorowski pitching or making sure they're near a TV or a radio to hear the results of Mizorowski pitching, because I think there's also an expectation that at some point this year, next year, whatever, he's going to throw a no-hitter like that.
Oh.
He's
sure.
going to throw a no-hitter.
Maybe even a perfect game after watching that last one, man.
Potentially a perfect game as well. So that's why I feel like it's an event day anytime Mizorowski goes out there and takes the mound for the Brewers. Now you add on top of it the Trader and the Cubs, and you can really get excited about that. From the 414, the Cubs will definitely want to win this series, no question. From the 414, the crew needs to just go in there and handle their business. I agree with you on that. From the 414, hey, Sparky, Jeff in Milwaukee, good question. Usually I would, but for some reason, not a big series. If we only win 1 out of 3 with our aces, it's okay. A lot of baseball left. And I think that's kind of where I'm at on this deal. I don't know, man. I'm just not as excited now. Rami Makaloff is going to be walking around out here. I'm assuming he's not going to be wearing his Cubs crap when he's.
You don't think so? He
no.
wears it every other time, like all day, every day. I feel like he's bold enough.
Oh, no, I'm not questioning whether he's bold enough. I just don't know if his girl would want to walk around and wearing that crap.
My girlfriend's wearing her Cubs jersey. I was surprised, yeah.
Really? She's wearing
willing.
It tonight?
She's willing to, yeah.
So then what then is the play by Charlie Usen if people start getting on her about said Cubs jersey when you're walking through Summerfest? Because I would imagine there's going to be some of that going on tonight between Brewers and Cub fans here the next couple of days.
What she would tell you is that she's a grown woman and can talk back however she wants. That it's not my job to tell people off. She can do it all on her own. So you know what? I'm okay with that.
I love it. I think you go do that. The Dugout YouTube chat going on right now over there. Andy has some thoughts, Charlie.
Andy says, Miz on the mound. Pratt sees why we hate the Cubs.
This is the thing, we talk about this rivalry and this series, and you get young guys that come into this clubhouse that weren't a part of this last year, that weren't a part of holding the L flag up on the field, celebrating, beating the Chicago Cubs and all of that. They come in. I don't know if they feel it until they're in it. How many Cub fans are going to be at American Family Field here the next 3 days, kind of putting out their chest? Or will they have tail between legs and say in Illinois and be like, I ain't going up there to watch this. We have no chance. We got 2 TBDs against Mizorowski. Well, Mizorowski got Colin Ray, but the next 2 games, TBDs at that point. I don't know. Another one from Landon. That's coming from the fan Milwaukee Facebook page.
Landon says, I think Pratt has his first homer today. I like that a lot. Maybe we can get Tommy to put that in the parlay for the people.
We got to ask Austin Herdina what kind of money we can make on a Cooper Pratt home run today.
I like that. That feels like a good vibe. Yeah.
That would be a really good vibe for the Brewers if Cooper Pratt gets going over the next 3 days for the Crew, no question. What about Pat Murphy, right? So he has back surgery yesterday. Trisha Whitaker from Apple TV, she's the one that started the whole pancake pocket mania thing last year. Tweeted out a couple hours ago. I spoke on the radio about what to expect from Pat Murphy today. Pat Murphy will manage the game tonight between the Brewers and the Cubs on Apple TV. 24 hours after undergoing surgery for a ruptured disc in his back. 67 years old. The man is superhuman. I don't know. I don't.
It's the Cubs.
First of all,
you got to be there.
I've never had a ruptured disc. Thank God. I don't know how you continue managing with a ruptured disc for said weeks, days, whatever. Like, that has got to be excruciating pain that he's in consistently, not to mention the major hip issues that he has. That hip surgery for Murphy is supposed to happen during the All-Star break. Now, when this all came out that he was doing all this, you remember what he said? Not going to miss any games. You remember what I said?
Good luck.
He's crazy. There's no way, especially the hip one. The back, I didn't realize was a ruptured disc. But technology has come a long way. But everybody I know that's ever had back surgery, I've never heard of them going back to work the next day after a back surgery. So that's what Pat Murphy is talking about doing here, Charlie. Maybe if you're listening right now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, you can partake. If you've ever had a ruptured disc in your back and have had surgery, did you go back to your job the next day or any type of surgery on your back? It just seems crazy to me. Nikolai Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250.
I'm taking at least a week off. At least, you gotta let it kind of heal itself a little bit. But I guess I also don't manage the Milwaukee Brewers, and we're not about to go play the Chicago Cubs. Whether or not it means a lot to us as fans, whether or not we're super hyped up for the series, I bet Pat Murphy is. I bet some of these Brewers that were here on this team last year are pretty hyped up for this series. I think they're going to go out there with a whole lot of energy, and you're going to see it in the way that they play. You're going to see it in the celebrations you get from Jacob Mizorowski and Abner Uribe coming back from his suspension. I think you're going to get a lot of energy from this Milwaukee Brewers team, and it's going to be led by Pat Murphy, even though he's out there fighting some pain.
Scotty Tiffany's at a pocket scalpel tonight.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that'd be good, like an operation with Pat Murphy. Like the way he pulls that out, that'd be perfect.
Oh, the Pat Murphy operation game.
Yeah,
Murphy's
that's what I'm saying.
Murphy's the body on top that you put all the pieces, pull the pieces in and out of.
Oh, he'd love that.
That's funny. That is kind of funny. Let's see. Aaron on the Dugout YouTube chat says they don't let you out of the hospital. Well, maybe they do for Pat Murphy. I don't know.
Might be a special case. If
Like
they're Brewers fans, they know the Cubs are coming up.
And it's the Cubs series too, on top of everything. Like, if this was the Reds, let's say, coming to American Family Field, do you press it, or do you just like, okay, I'm just gonna
like
this
the Rockies or something?
Right? Yeah, right. But you're gonna try to be at American Family Field after you have a ruptured disc fixed in your back yesterday. I physically do not understand how that's even a possibility. At this point, I really do not get it. Okay, so take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. We're going to change gears. Talk about Giannis a little bit before we get to Keith Tozer, commissioner of the MASL, a legendary coach for the Milwaukee Wave. We'll talk about the U.S. World Cup soccer loss last night and look ahead to Bosnia coming up on Wednesday for the round of 32 play for the World Cup. That's at 2:40. But coming up next, we're going to switch it back to Giannis. Another long piece on ESPN today from Ramona Shelburne and Jamal Collier talking about this whole process of trading Giannis. Clearly, they had a chance to sit down and talk with John Horst and get some stories from John Horst and so forth. So we'll get into that coming up next here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here by the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge at Summerfest. Welcome back, Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from Summerfest, baby. X Golf hole-in-one, $10 gets you 3 golf balls. 3 golf balls. Your chance to win $5,000. First one to get a hole-in-one here at Summerfest on the X Golf hole-in-one challenge gets you $5,000. Go give it a shot. As I've said before, if you've got small children, 6, 7 years old, spend the $10. Let them take a shot at it. Video it. And then next year, come back and try it again. Do it every year so they're able to finally get one up on that green. The party will be real. And the excitement will be real with your kid if he gets to come do it every year as he or she gets closer and closer to getting to that green. I'm telling you, it's a cool thing.
Maybe you'll find out they're a phenom, too. In like the first couple of years, maybe they'll hit it right on the green. And you're like, we got a stud. We can go out there and we can make this the next Tiger Woods, right?
I love you. You are the best. You are amazing. Unbelievable. Keith Tozer, commissioner of the MASL Luxury Wave Coach. He comes up in the next segment. We'll talk about World Cup soccer. Team USA losing last night to Turkey. And I'm just baffled by the reaction from Team USA after that loss. So we'll get into all of that. Right now, I want to switch gears back to Giannis. One segment here on Giannis. I'm curious about something here because there's a new piece out now on ESPN today about Giannis, John Horst, the Bucks, and how this whole thing played out. Obviously, you had the lengthy piece by Jim Ozarski, Bucks beat writer of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, earlier in the week, that it was very kind of critical of Giannis over the last 3 years with quotes from all kinds of different people and that. Now, today comes a piece on ESPN talking more about Giannis and the behind-the-scenes stuff. The one thing we did not know, if we're just going to highlight stuff from this article, that apparently the Bucks had, I believe they said 5 different offers that died because Giannis wouldn't sign off on going to the team that they had a deal essentially made with because Giannis didn't want to sign an extension to go to that team. So while we've all been talking about, well, it's going to be the Celtics or it's going to be the Heat, the Celtics or the Heat. In reality, they had other deals done, potentially better deals than what they had done with Miami, and Giannis wouldn't sign off on going to play for whatever the team was that they wanted to trade him to. I believe that is new, fresh information, Mr. Charlie.
I'm surprised the Milwaukee Bucks didn't look at it and go, we don't really care. Like if some of these other teams, and I expect at least one of those 5 other teams would have gone, you know what, we can be the Raptors. We can do this. We have enough talent for 1 year, 1 run. Let's go do what they did with Kawhi Leonard. Okay, yeah, we'll still make the deal. The Bucks should have just said, okay, sure, sounds good. We don't care about Giannis. If that was a better package than what you got from the Miami Heat, why would you not just go for it?
Because I'm thinking the better package was with the understanding that he signs the extension. I'm sure the package changes dramatically when Giannis says, I'm not signing. I'll play for a year, but I'm not signing.
Again, I just feel like a team desperate enough that was close enough would be willing to mortgage the future a little bit.
Not necessarily. I mean, it could have been the Timberwolves. It could have been Portland. It could have been whoever that was interested in doing this. Like, for instance, right now, Jalen Duren, who is a young potential eventually stud center for the Detroit Pistons that they've been preaching about. Guess what? Duren wants out. Duren wants a new deal as a restricted free agent because he feels like the Pistons are lowballing him. So now you might have a situation where Duren gets traded by the Pistons in some type of bigger deal. There's already been speculation that Duren maybe goes for Jaylen Brown of the Celtics. Meanwhile, Joe from Oklahoma, from the Oklahoma Thunder, guard, shot the ball, 41% from 3 last year, has a couple years left on his deal. He gets traded to the Pistons today for a couple of second-round picks. Guess what that affects? I'm guessing that probably affects the Pistons and Tyler Hero by getting him in there.
I would assume so. I think that was one of the only other teams that I think seemed like they were really interested in giving a player like Tyler Hero that max contract. They were talking about with Austin Reeves. I'm sure if they were able to make a trade for Jaylen Brown, they would go in and make that type of signing. So Tyler Hero, I think, was a really attractive piece to the Pistons. The Bucks should have been pretty heavily trying to pursue that avenue to get him that way, which also tells me, again, I don't like you. We keep saying that he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. Like I am still not convinced Tyler Hero is not going to be a Buck for at least the start of the season, if not the entire season, because the way that it feels like they're going about his whole trade market is with almost zero urgency, at least from what we're hearing.
Again, the debate is, would you rather have Isaiah Joe or would you rather have Tyler Hero? Well, Tyler Hero's an all-star, right? So I think everybody says Tyler Hero at this point. However, You have Joe under contract for 2 years. You have Hero under contract at, $33 million for 1 year on an expiring. And it's the same deal as Giannis. I'm not going to trade for Tyler Hero, I don't think, unless I want to get him extended to a long-term contract. And then we get back to, okay, what teams really want to spend that money on him long-term? I certainly don't want the Bucks spending that type of money on him long-term. And I'm fine. Listen, if he starts the season in Milwaukee, so be it. He's going to average what? 25 points at least.
He should on this team.
He's going to take the majority of the shots, people. He's going to take 17 shots a night, 20 shots a night. He's going to be the guy on this team. Then if he's balling and doing his thing and averaging 6 boards a night, 6 assists a night, throwing up crazy numbers, now you can potentially get a package for that dude at the trade deadline to go help a playoff team make that run in the postseason. So that is another way that this could go. What about Jalen Duren of the Pistons, however, Charlie? That is another guy right now that potentially could be had. I just wonder how much it's going to take to go get him, however, because if you look at his numbers, they're okay. I mean, he's had games you're like, ooh, that okay? That's the guy that was drafted relatively high and people had high hopes for. But at the same point, I don't think he's really put together that stud season as of yet.
I think it depends how important you think having a center is for a championship in the next 5 years. I think that's the biggest key. And if Victor Wembanyama is going to consistently be the guy that you have to go through, if you're any team in the NBA, I think you want to have one of the best centers in the league on your roster. And he is that type of player. He proved that by being an all-star this season. He was extremely important to the playoff run for the Detroit Pistons. I think this is a player that, for the right team, it's worth a big enough package. I just don't think the Milwaukee Bucks are that right team right now. After trading away Giannis Antetokounmpo, you're not a championship contender.
I just think Jalen Duren needs to do more at the rim. He didn't even average a block per game in 3 of the 4 seasons. He's only averaged over a block per game once.
But he's also been really effective at just keeping people away from the rim, and I think that's part of the reason that his block numbers haven't been as big of a deal to some people. He's been really stout, about 5, 6, 7 feet away from the rim, and that's been really important for a lot of teams that have been running these small ball lineups that you've seen popularize over the past 3 seasons. But again, that's changing, and he's one of the best centers in the league, so you got to take that gamble if you need that.
Everybody's going to build their roster however they want to build their roster in the NBA, right? Everybody's going to be like, okay, I want this at this position, that at this position. The one thing that's been said about the Bucks is they want to be bigger at every position than what the average size is. So the average size for a point guard is, say, 6'1" in the NBA. They want their point guard to be 6'3" or 6'4". And the average size for a shooting guard in the NBA is 6'4", 6'5". They want to be like 6'6", 6'7", right? That's their thing. I'll tell you my thing right now for a center. If we're going to talk about how we build this going forward, you must be a premier shot blocker and somebody that can shoot threes. Those have to be 2 prerequisites because the odds of finding a shot blocker and a defender and a rim protector like Giannis at the 4 is highly unlikely at this point. So you're going to have that type of player at the 5. If you make a move for Jalen Duren of the Pistons, who apparently is unhappy and wants out as a restricted free agent, I just don't know if he's that guy. Maybe he becomes that guy, Charlie, because he's only 4 years into the league. I mean, last year, 28 minutes a game, 19.5 points per game, 10.5 rebounds a game, 2 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.8 blocks. Did shoot 65% from the floor. So 19.5, 10.5, that's good. I need the block number to be better. Can that be coached? Can that be taught? I think to a degree it can be.
And what better coach to do that than Taylor Jenkins, a guy who has a really strong defensive background, has coached a defensive player of the year in Jaren Jackson Jr. up to that level. I think there's just a lot to like about a guy like Jalen Duren. I think that a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, again, if they feel like they're at that point where they want to give that an opportunity, if they think that they can turn this around in the next 3 years and compete with a Victor Wembanyama at some point, maybe even a Giannis in your own conference if you need to stay there, if you feel like that's the case, then yeah, go for it, give them a shot because there's just a lot of potential there. At the same time, I don't think the Bucks are at that point. I don't think they're thinking like they're at that point. This may not be the right move for them.
Keith Tozer, the commissioner of the MASL and legendary Milwaukee Wave soccer coach, comes up next. We're going to talk about the USA loss and the World Cup last night. Straight ahead, Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at Summerfest by the X Golf Hole-in-One. $5,000 you can win if you're the first one to hit a hole-in-one here at Summerfest. $10 for 3 golf balls. Go give it a try today. Welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from Summerfest, baby. X-Golf Hole-in-One Challenge going on right now. $10 for 3 golf balls. First one to get a hole-in-one at the challenge gets $5,000. That's right, $5,000. First one to get a hole-in-one at the X-Golf Hole-in-One Challenge out here at Summerfest. It's an island hole. It's on a barge, whole deal. It's tough. Give it a shot, see what happens. Maybe you get lucky. You get $5,000. Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. He is Keith Tozer, commissioner of the MASL, and, of course, legendary Milwaukee Wave soccer coach, championship soccer coach. Mr. Tozer, how are you?
Good, Sparky. How you doing? Hey, you're at Pebble Beach, huh? $5,000. All right.
$5,000, man. Have you ever done that out here? You've been in Milwaukee forever, so have you ever come out here and tried that hole-in-one challenge?
I've tried it a few times.
And?
What is close? A foot, 5 feet, 10 feet, 2 inches?
I don't care about that. Like, how often do you put it on the green on the barge? Like, do you put it on like 3 out of 3 golf balls or what?
1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
In the old days.
Because, you're a golfer too. I know you play golf.
Oh, yeah. I play golf. It's tough there because, it's always windy, right?
Yes, it's windy again today.
Yesterday had been a little fog. You can't even see the green.
Yep. Windy and cold out here today. I'm telling you, there's people walking around here in shorts. They're going to be freezing by the time they get to concerts tonight. All right, Mr. Tozer, I need you to explain to me what is going on with Team USA. So I don't understand how the man that is in charge of this team and coaching this team is like taken aback and shocked by the fact that people are critical of the fact that they lost to Turkey, who, by the way, hadn't scored a goal at the World Cup until last night and put up 3 against Matt Turner as goalie for Team USA last night. Hadn't scored a goal, and they put up 3. They lost 3-2. I get it. You had already won. That didn't mean anything. You're going to round of 32. I get it. Turkey was going home regardless. Big deal. Well, guess what? It still means a lot to Turkey to go home and say they beat Team USA. So clearly they were still playing for something. He changed up his lineup and treated it essentially like an exhibition game. But from a fan standpoint and not a coaching standpoint, I looked at it and I was like, well, you still want to win this. You want to keep the momentum going. You've won 2 in a row. Make it 3 in a row. Keep that momentum going up into the Bosnia game on Wednesday at the World Cup for Team USA. Clearly, he did not care about that match last night.
No, he didn't. And, there's so many different ways to look at this. Right now, I'm watching France play Norway, and the mentality of the French, and Mbappe said, I want to play. Dembele's already got a hat trick. They're there to win this, and this is one of the top teams in the world. And they wanted to keep their rhythm and momentum going. It's their goal at the beginning of the World Cup, the USA, was to get to the round of 32. They did that. Now, I think how well they do against Bosnia will come back to this game against Turkey is okay. If they don't do well, should they have played players? If they win, this game is forgotten, right? And coaching, right? If you make a decision and your players execute it, you're a genius. If your players don't, you're stupid. So I don't know if I would have done 9 different starters. It was good that Pulisic came in because Pulisic looked quite well on the left side. They scored early, which they needed to do. And Sparky, that's what they needed to do. If you remember the Ghana-England game, the Ghana dropped back in a low block, made it very difficult for England, frustrated them, 0-0. Yep. And Bosnia is known for that. They're going to drop back. They're going to park the bus. They got 2 big power forwards and the 9 and the 10, and it's going to be difficult. If we don't score first against Bosnia, it could be a long night.
Okay, so that's good. You're giving us some insight on Bosnia. Before we get more into that, I want to go back to last night because Pulisic was another thing that I didn't agree with in that spot either. Now, thank God he didn't get hurt again. But when he comes running out there in the second half, I'm going, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we even playing him for? Like, you're running a different lineup anyhow. Clearly you don't care. And now you're running Pulisic out there to potentially get hurt. Again, thankfully he didn't get hurt. He almost got a whoopsie goal that hit off his foot, off of somebody else, and he ended up hitting the post. But I didn't agree with that either. And like you said, I'm going to scream and yell if he gets hurt, if he gets it wrong. And on TV, who's the analyst on TV? Twelman or whatever his name is?
Yep.
Yeah. He's on TV, and literally I complain about it, and then he's on TV. I know some of you at home may be wondering why he's doing this, and we're trying to get Pulisic some rhythm and so forth going forward. At the end of the day, Coach, I mean, you coach championship teams year after year after year. Do you do the same thing, or do you start him and put him out there versus putting him out there in the second half, or do you not put him out there at all because of the fact he can't stay healthy?
No, I definitely would not have started him, I don't believe, because I know at the beginning of the game, Turkey, they needed a win, right? They needed some pride back.
Right.
And you know it was going to be tough and physical. In the second half, depending on how the physicality of the game was going, and as well as the score, then I would have picked and choose one to bring him in. I mean, he played in the last 20, 25 minutes. Again,
right.
If he goes in and gets hurt, then you're really looking bad. If he goes in and scores a goal, you're looking better. There's reward and consequences to all decisions, and thank God they got through with it without getting hurt, because they're going to need his expertise on that left side and inside the box because of the way Bosnia is going to play.
All right.
And you look at Mbappe told his coach that I want to play this game. Don't sit me down. And of course, one of the top players in the world, right behind Messi in goal scored,
yep.
And this guy still wants to play.
And that's great. That's absolutely what you want. Now, let's not confuse him with Pulisic, though, as far as who's better. Let's not do a crazy there on Pulisic. I'm another one that, you look at this team, and we talked about Gio Reyna last week when we talked about this, but it didn't click in my head about Berhalter's kid being on the team. And again, he had a goal last night. I was like, oh my God, he's out there with Gio Reyna. Like, that has to be an awkward relationship too.
There's some dynamics on the team. I think Pochettino's done a good job of kind of roping that all in and getting everybody pointing in the right direction. But Reyna, with that situation and his parents, in the last World Cup, Berhalter and being the son of the coach, the stuff with Pulisic, the goalkeeper situation,
yep.
Is it Turner or not? So he's done a pretty good job of getting everything pointed in the right direction.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was my next question. We saw Turner last night. I liked Turner the last time around. I don't know if I'm still all in on Turner as the goalkeeper. What say you?
Yeah, I think Freese is the guy you got to go with.
Yep.
Turner got laid out a little bit, on that second goal where he had to make himself big and he still didn't put his body in front. I think Freese is the guy you got to go with, and I think you go with him as long as you can, and hopefully we'll get past the round of 32 and get into the 16s. But I think Freese is definitely the guy that I would go with.
As far as Bosnia goes, you said earlier, coming up Wednesday night, the game in Santa Clara on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, I believe is the start time for the round 32 game, Team USA against Bosnia. By the way, I mentioned this earlier. There's a guy in this Bosnia team that's played soccer in Appleton and is on that Bosnia team. So there actually is kind of a Wisconsin connection to that team. Outside of scoring, go ahead.
No, he actually played in the Milwaukee Wave Youth Club, SC Wave. He's a good player, so it's interesting. So they're a good team, and Bosnia. Everybody wants to get to the round of 32. We thought we'd get there. Did Bosnia really think they're going to get there? I think they're the underdog. I think they're happy where they are. I think they're going to be difficult because they're going to drop back and again park that bus. They have a 40-year-old who plays up top. He's the captain, Edin Zetko. He leads the team. I mean, he's a beast. They love the counter on the flanks, and they're great with balls inside the box, and hopefully we'll be able to stop that. We haven't been too good in years past on corner kicks, as you know, right? And stuff inside the box. Hopefully we'll be able to mitigate that.
Keith Tozer, commissioner of the MASL. We'll see how this all plays out, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again, regardless of win or loss, after the next one. Keith, thanks so much for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, man.
Take care. There is Keith Tozer, legendary coach from the Milwaukee Wave, championship-winning coach of the Milwaukee Wave. And again, commissioner of the MASL. Follow him on X at KTozerUSA Futsal, KTozerUSA futsal. Steve Sparky Fiber with you out here, Wisconsin Sports Daily, out here at Summerfest by the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. $10 for 3 golf balls. If you hit a hole-in-one, you have a chance to win $5,000, but you have to be the first one to do it out here at Summerfest. Once somebody does it at Summerfest, it's over. People tried last Thursday, didn't happen. People tried Friday. People tried Saturday. People tried yesterday. Nobody still has hit the hole-in-one for the $5,000, so it is still up for grabs. Come give it a try out here at Summerfest. And dress warm, people. Jacket, sweatshirt, windy out. Just saying, be prepared when you come out here. Let's talk about the crew coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome in. It is Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Charlie Usen hanging out here. Got to meet a listener, Evan, that was out here. He's like, dude, man, you've been the highlight of my day for years, man. It's so cool, man. Where's Charlie? He's back in the studio. And then I try to tell him that, hey, man, if you're going to be here tonight, you might actually get to see Charlie. I told him the name of the group. Group Love? Is that what you said?
Group
it was?
Love. Yeah.
He literally, I don't know who that is.
Me and Tommy did a beautiful rendition of one of their songs for you.
I don't know who those people are either. But anyways, so if you want to meet Charlie Usen, he'll be out and hanging out down here around the Generac stage tonight, him and his girl, if you want to get his autograph.
Tall guy, long hair, big white shirt. Yeah, you'll see me.
Exactly right. Yeah. And again, the nice thing about streaming like we do now on X and on YouTube, subscribe, all that fun stuff at WI Sports Radios. Now you could see what everybody looks like. Like back in the day when you didn't have video, you really had no idea. And you'd be out at a bar and somebody would be like, "Are you Sparky? I recognize your voice." And then you could either lie and be like, "Nope, not me." Or you'd be like, yeah, it's me, whatever.
Were people ever surprised by you? Were they like, "Oh, you're Sparky"?
Yes. Always way smaller than they pictured when they listened on the radio, right? Always pictured somebody taller with the voice. But yeah, what can you do? Now you see how small I truly am. And it's fine. It's okay. We'll be fine. It's 3:00. Let's get to it.
It's time to talk about the Crew. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Well, it is time to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. Jacob Mizorowski toes the rubber tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers against the Trader and the Cubs at American Family Field coming up tonight. Colin Ray gets to start, the former Brewer, for the Cubs tonight. The Cubs currently list starting pitchers tomorrow and Sunday as TBD, baby, to be determined. That probably does not stand good for them, as you have Kyle Harrison on the mound for the Brewers tomorrow night, Brandon Woodruff on the hill for the Brewers on Sunday. And we were talking about this with some people that were here from Chicago. Will, our promotions guy, me, have come across numerous people that are in town for the Brewers-Cubs game, or going over there tonight, or at Summerfest first before they head over there. Is that new outside area at American Family Field is open starting tonight, Charlie.
Oh, I got to go play the mini golf.
Mini golf course, 6-hole mini golf course is open. The stage, the beer garden, all of that stuff is open for the first time tonight. So if you're going over to American Family Field, you got kids or whatever else, it's free for the mini golf. So take your kids, go do a little mini golf before the Brewers-Cubs game tonight at American Family Field. I think that's going to be a hugely popular addition outside for families that have kids to go play mini golf at American Family Field before they head into the game.
The Giant Cow Playground, they had that already built and up when I was there last. That was the last time Jacob Mizorowski pitched on a Friday night wearing the Wisco jerseys, where he almost threw a perfect game.
Playground
no, it wasn't open yet, but I told myself I probably would have to play on that playground because it's awesome. It's crazy. It's kind of intimidating at first because it is a giant cow that's just staring out at you. But it's awesome.
You climb on it?
Yeah, they got little climbing structures all over it, so you can climb on top of it, inside of it, around it. It's awesome, dude. It's so cool.
That's pretty cool. That'll be fun to see.
They didn't have the mini golf finished yet, so I'm excited to see that, and I do want to play on that for real.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I mean, a beer garden, a stage, they can have bands now outside of American Family Field. Kids can now play mini golf at American Family Field. That all opens tonight for the first time outside of American Family Field. 6 holes of golf free, so take advantage of that. So here's the question. First, we'll set it up a little bit. First, we have the Trader with the Cubs, who went to Chicago for a lot more money than anybody else, $8 million a year. And the goal was, we're going to bring him in. We're going to steal him from our rival. He'll help us win the division every year so we stop losing to them. And he'll help us get us back to the World Series. Well, the first year the Trader was there, they finished 10 games back in the division. The second year the Trader was there, they finished, 5 games back in the division and lost to him in the playoffs. The Trader is still there, and they sit 7 games back in the division right now behind your Milwaukee Brewers and Pat Murphy as they interplay tonight at American Family Field. Then the other person that left was David Stearns, who was the GM president that put this whole thing together after Doug Melvin. And David Stearns really helped take us to the next level with player development, pitching coming along and developing more so than probably it did under Doug Melvin back in the day. His philosophy in the draft, much different than what we've seen in the past, believing in drafting guys that play up the middle, right? So shortstops, second basemen, center fielders. That's the way David Stearns drafted. We've seen a change in philosophy there, I think, with Matt Arnold since he's taken over as GM of the Brewers. But David Stearns this morning fired his manager with the New York Mets, Mr. Mendoza, who, again, for me, I don't know why you would hire somebody from the Royals to begin with to be your manager, but either way. So you hire Mendoza, fails miserably. He gets fired because they lost to the Cubs. That's probably not a good sign for Cub fans that they're firing people after they lose to you. But either way, so Mendoza gets fired today. Stearns, I think, is on the hot seat. Ken Rosenthal was on Foul Territory TV yesterday talking about the fact that, hey, look, you don't chase after a guy for 2 years like Cohen did with the Mets, the owner of the Mets, and then fire this dude 2 years later. If you were that invested in believing in David Stearns, you're going to give David Stearns more than 2 years before you move on from David Stearns. The other point that Rosenthal made, which I thought was a good one, is there's not a lot of great GM potential candidates out there right now that are itching, or people are saying, that guy should be a GM. Somebody's going to get lucky when they take him. According to Rosenthal, there's not a lot of those guys around Major League Baseball right now to do that. So that gives him a little bit more job security too. But I would say that's been a failure in New York. And the trader hasn't worked out the way that the Cubs thought he was going to work out in Chicago.
No.
Here's the question. Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, it's been so weird. Like, the people you brought up David Stearns and, like, the questioning of after 2 years, do you fire him or not? I don't know.
It's New York, man.
Exactly. You're in the biggest market. I think the fact that you chased after somebody for that long and you've expected some kind of brilliance to come out of it because of what he was able to do in Milwaukee, I think the amount of disappointment that you're feeling, you have to make them.
Hold on. We have breaking Brewers news.
What's up?
Pat Murphy will be managing tonight.
Okay.
However, it's not going to be in the dugout.
Oh.
He will be managing from another location.
What?
He had back surgery yesterday. I don't know if I could say what city. Whatever. He had back surgery yesterday, not in Milwaukee. He had back surgery yesterday. His hip surgery no longer happening in the season. So now it's going to happen after the season. So that hip surgery that was going to happen in the All-Star break is no longer. So the back surgery happened, and he's not here. Now, could Pat Murphy be managing with a phone from his hospital bed?
I was going to say, are they just going to have him like on an iPad, like hooked up to like a rolly cart, have somebody roll him around the dugout and stuff so he can talk to people?
I mean, they didn't say where he is. They just said from another location. My guess would be from a hospital bed. Would be my guess. Because I'm guessing
take the night off. Just take the night off. I get it. It's the Cubs. Like, that's a huge series. It's a huge game. Jacob Mizorowski's on the mound. You want to be a part of it no matter what because you're Pat Murphy and that's just who you are. But at the same time, man, like Chris Hook's got it. Just let him take the game for the night.
I wonder what happened that changed the hip surgery deal. I wonder if he went through the back surgery yesterday and is in so much pain right now that Pat Murphy's going, you know what? I'm not doing this with a hip surgery, too. I'll never be able to get back for the second half of the season like I want. So if you're just tuning in, Pat Murphy did have back surgery yesterday, will not be in the dugout at American Family Field tonight, but still will be managing the game from some undisclosed location. My guess would be the hospital, but who knows? So that's number one. Number two, the other piece of news that just broke, Pat Murphy will no longer be having hip surgery in the All-Star break like they said Pat Murphy was going to be having. Instead, the hip surgery for Pat Murphy will now be after the season is over. So hip surgery for Pat Murphy now after the season, not during the All-Star break. As a fan, I'm happy with that because as you and I talked about, I didn't think there was any chance that Pat Murphy was going to come back without missing time from hip surgery. I didn't think there was any chance that Pat Murphy would not miss a game. And now after this back surgery, and he's not in the dugout tonight, and he's managing from a different location, I think Pat Murphy now realizes there's only so much pain you can deal with. And when you have a major surgery like a back or a hip, you just aren't turning that around in 24 hours. So now the hip surgery will happen after the season for Pat Murphy, which I think is a smart play. But I do feel bad for Pat Murphy because I can only imagine the amount of pain that hip is causing him right now.
Yeah, it's got to be brutal. But again, like you said, if the back surgery, the pain of the back made it so that you had to have immediate surgery, and then the pain afterwards made it so that you just can't go through with the hip surgery right now because that's just going to be too much to bear. Like that, you're in so much pain already. I get it that it might hurt going through that for the rest of the year, but you got to find other ways. You can't put yourself out for a month, 2 months throughout the season.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be brutal for this team if they don't have their captain right there with them for 2 months. And I think he's been part of that driving force that's given this team life throughout the past few years.
Tommy and Styles from the 414 says, I need to see Murph rolling around in an electric wheelchair just like Patches O'Houlihan. All right,
awesome.
Torn. Roll up firing wrenches at people.
He kind of does seem like that type of coach.
From the 262, LOL, this is like on PlayStation and you do the managing on your franchise and just make the overall decisions. I love it.
Well, and I feel like that's probably what they mean by he's going to manage away from the stadium. It's just going to be like him setting the lineup at the beginning of the game, kind of maybe if he wants to make big decisions, but overall it will just be the bench coaches working it out themselves. And then he's just going to, again, set the lineup, see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope Murphy's all right. I'm assuming he's fine. But a ruptured disc in your back to have that surgery, I cannot imagine. I would guess, maybe I'll be wrong, I would guess you don't see him in the dugout all weekend. Now, they didn't say that. They just said for tonight. But I would be relatively surprised if Pat Murphy is in the dugout for the game tomorrow. He's not going to be there tonight. They've already said that. But, yeah.
Also not going to be surprised if he shows up wearing his hospital gown in the dugout tomorrow night.
Shut up.
Just ready to go, man.
Murph, you know you just got your hospital gown on. I know I had to break out. They weren't going to let me leave.
Exactly.
I had to get out. I didn't have time to go home and change, so it is what it is. Deal with it.
I could see it happening.
Okay, so we were talking about the idea of Council and Stearns, the trader and Stearns, and the failures that they've had in their organizations through the last couple of years. The question I have for you is this. What's the driving force, do you think, of the continued success for the Brewers? Because clearly it wasn't the last GM president. Clearly it wasn't the last manager, as this thing just continues to hum along. And I think you could argue that it's humming along at a better rate than it was with Stearns and the trader. I mean, they had the most wins in baseball last year at 97. And don't look now, they're on pace to win over 100 games right now as well, Charlie. Dial it up. Let us know what you think it is. Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Of course, on the socials at WI Sports Radio. What say you, Charlie?
I mean, it's been insane. It's been so much fun to watch this team. And when you say that they're on pace for over 100 wins, I have all the faith in the world that they get there. Like, I don't feel like there's any stop in this team at all. Even when they stumble for 2 to 3 games, it doesn't feel like they've lost mojo. When the Cubs, they had that hot streak at the beginning of the season, like we mentioned before, and then started tumbling, it immediately felt like that there was something wrong. Not now, right now, 2 months later after that point, where we obviously know something's wrong. It was 2 series of them stumbling, and Cubs fans were freaking out. Cubs media was freaking out. It was a scary moment because they felt it coming, and then it came to fruition because Craig Counsell was out there and didn't know how to motivate this team. He's given really bland answers to questions that he probably should have pretty easy answers to, and people are bothered by that. You can tell there's no motivation. It feels like this Brewers team, every time they get beat down just a little bit, they're always happy. They're always ready to come back and play at the full go. And I think that's because of a Pat Murphy. I think that's because of a culture that was instilled by this team. I don't think that David Stearns and Craig Counsell were leading that type of culture during their time here. I think it was there because the players and the bench coaches, and they all just kind of felt that throughout this time. I think Bob Uecker helped a lot to kind of instill some kind of culture within the framework of the roster too, because he was always just so present. But now you keep that going through Pat Murphy and the way that he's led this team. You just don't have that same kind of culture in these other cities where it feels like it's all business all the time, something that I think turned the Bucks around at some point when they went from a culture organization to a business organization. You saw that as a downfall.
I think all of that is true what you said. I think the other part of it is that while Mark Antonacci doesn't spend the amount of money that most of us would like to see him spend on the major league payroll. What has happened is he spent a lot of money on the infrastructure of the international scouting and building the academies and doing all of that. He spent the money on player development. He spent the money on, the pitching lab and all this other stuff where he's invested the money, and he's invested in people as well, right? I mean, the big thing to me is investing in Chris Hook and making sure that you don't lose him. And I was thinking about it earlier today when Stearns made that decision to fire Mendoza with the Mets. It's like, oh my God, please don't come offer Chris Hook the managerial job in New York. I don't know if he would take it or not, but that would be one way to break up this, or try to break up this Milwaukee thing, is somebody offer Chris Hook a manager job and off he goes. And to be honest with you, that's a really, really smart play, I think, for an organization right now that's trying to get itself over the top, taking somebody from Murphy's staff that has been critical to the success of the Brewers, which is building Mizorowski, building Harrison. Harrison was in AAA for Boston, and right now he's a top 10 pitcher in Major League Baseball, people. Like, this is insane, the stuff that Chris Hook is doing. We had Chris Hook on this show earlier in the week and talking about all the different things that go into, building a pitcher up, the things that change, the atmosphere of a stadium, what's happening on a given night. Contreras reading the movement on different pitches and then making decisions on the run. All of that goes into what makes this team as successful as they are. And then you hear Bryce Terang on the MLB Network earlier this week, Terang talking about, all of these guys come to the park with the same thing in mind, right? Going out there, and as Murphy would say, being relentless and essentially pulling the rope in the same way. You don't have guys pulling the rope in 5 different directions with 5 individual single agendas going on. That's clearly what happened with the Bucks last season, for sure. That was a major problem. And you just have not seen that in Milwaukee, Charlie, at this point. I got a bunch of text messages coming in here still on Pat Murphy managing from an undisclosed location tonight after having surgery yesterday on his back. They also said there will no longer be hip surgery for Pat Murphy during the season, during the All-Star break, like originally said. Instead, Pat Murphy's surgery on his hip will come after the season now. From the 414, says, so nothing in his pocket tonight with Tracy Whitaker lame.
You never know. I don't know. He could have surprises from the hospital. Maybe he's ordered somebody else to get one of the other coaches.
Right, and it's an undisclosed location. I'm guessing it's the hospital, but they didn't say. The Brewers didn't say. From the 414, I wouldn't want to be Murph's nurse tonight. Simba in Port. Yeah, that's fair. Could you imagine that? Sitting in the hospital, if he's in the hospital bed,
he's going to
watching the Brewers game, getting mad about something, and he's like screaming at the TV.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be the nurse, I guess, but a fly on the wall, maybe, just to somebody watching his reactions to some crazy moment, good or bad.
If he actually, they ought to just live stream it. That would be hilarious. Just live stream his reactions to everything that's going on.
Got to make sure it's not safe for work. He's probably going to have plenty of expletives when he's not in the dugout.
Hey, listen, if Mizorowski throws the no-hitter tonight, he's going to be devastated because he won't be there to celebrate.
And there's going to be expletives. If something bad happens, there's going to be expletives. Yes.
That's true, too. From the 414, how did we miss that Major League movie moment of the coach jumping in the bed in the hospital with Murphy? LOL. Yeah, that's another one. That's good stuff. Okay, let's take a quick time out. Come back on the other side and continue on with Wisconsin Sports Daily. We're going to talk a little bit about that CBA proposal now from the owners to the players. Lots to discuss there, and we'll get into that straight ahead. Don't forget about my friends over there at Habish, and Rotier, baby. These guys and girls know what they're doing. They've been doing it since 1930, 13 locations around the state of Wisconsin. If you're listening to us on WNFL in Green Bay and Appleton, they got locations there. If you're listening to us in Wausau on the game, they're there. If you're listening to us on the Fan in Madison, they're there too. If you're listening to us on the Fan in Milwaukee, they're there too. I'm telling you, people, they're everywhere you want them to be. And why is that? Because they have a national reputation built by winning a lot of cases, getting laws changed, safety laws made in the state of Wisconsin over the course of time. They've been doing it for almost 100 years. And then you take into account the hometown service of Habish, and Rotier as well. What does that mean? That means that they're approachable. That means you're like a friend or a family member when you come in to get help. Why are you going to Habish, and Rotier? In a lot of cases, it's because you've been hurt in a car accident of some sort. As like I always say, but in the past, I've gone through that. It had glass stuck in my hair and everything else. It was a pretty bad car accident. When you get into that position, and you're hurt in all of that, you go through a lot of different emotions, including being scared, nervous, not knowing what to do. And that is why you have to go to people that you trust. And you should trust our fine friends over there at Habish and Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Check them out online at habish.com. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at Summerfest at the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. $5,000 still on the line for the first one to get a hole-in-one. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from Summerfest, right by the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. First person to get a hole-in-one at Summerfest wins $5,000. That's right, $5,000. First one to get a hole-in-one. It's an island hole. It's on a barge. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's easy. Obviously, we are in day 5 right now of Summerfest, and nobody has done it to this point, so still opportunity for you to win that money. $10 for 3 golf balls. Go take advantage at the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge out here at Summerfest. Still to come out here at Summerfest, Tommy Wirtz, the big old hunk of love, is going to be out here from 5 until 6:30 with the leadoff show. Get you ready for the Brewers and the Cubs tonight. Mizorowski versus Colin Ray. Get you starting lineups. Hear from whoever it is that's going to be talking tonight. Because Pat Murphy is not going to be in the dugout. He will be at an undisclosed location. So we will see if and when Pat Murphy talks and what kind of sound we get from them. Also, they announced that Pat Murphy will no longer be having hip surgery in the All-Star break. That is now going to wait till after the season, which, again, I think that's smart because of all the pain that you're going to go through with a hip surgery. I can only imagine the amount of pain he's in right now recovering from a back surgery for a disc that essentially exploded, it sounds like. All right, so Charlie, I want to get into talking a little bit about the latest CBA proposal from the owners. A lot of different people having thoughts on this. Bruce Meyer is the guy that's running things for the MLBPA. And I said when this whole thing started, when he was the one named, I told Charlie, I said, well, you can kiss next season goodbye because we're going to miss quite a few games because there's no chance this dude is folding for a salary cap. Now the MLB owners come out and say, hey, let's cap how much you can really make, right? So let's have max contracts like they do in the NBA. Like for, say, Giannis, right? He only can make so much on this super max that he's going to end up with at the end of the day, which makes sense, obviously, from an MLB owner's perspective and even from a fan perspective, because now contracts can't get too crazy or out of control. So, for instance, let's say this. Let's say William Contreras comes up as a free agent after next year. And if they say, hey, the max number that William Contreras can make is X, well, now guess what? The Brewers know what the number is. So either you pay the number or he goes somewhere else. Before, the Brewers had no idea how crazy it would get with the Yankees or the Mets or the Dodgers. But now if the Brewers can pay the same number as every other team, now that gives you a fighter's chance of potentially maybe keeping a player or two. If they get a salary cap floor like the owners are wanting, where now you get up to $170 million, guess what? That means the Brewers are going to have to spend an additional $40 million than what they're spending right now on payroll. Everything the owners are talking about right now will benefit the Milwaukee Brewers at the end of the day. Like every point that they're throwing out there benefits the Brewers. The problem is it's going to screw the players at the end of the day. Not the salary floor concept, but a lot of these other concepts as far as, hey, you want to sign a free agent deal with your own team, you get an additional year to sign it for guaranteed money. You want to sign it with another team, you get one less year that you can sign it with another team, and we're going to put a max amount on it. So all of these play to the small market, or a lot of these concepts play to the small market teams like the Brewers. I think the owners are doing a phenomenal job with what they're offering up and trying to get done. The problem is they're running into a brick wall named Bruce Meyer, and he has just recently talked here in the last 24 hours as well.
So this was on Foul Territory. This first clip of 2 clips I'm going to play, the shorter one first, is Bruce Meyer talking about how small market teams are actually more profitable than people give them credit for.
The smaller market teams, or the lower revenue teams in general, are the most profitable teams in baseball. The most profitable, right? And again, we have a system now of revenue sharing, which really doesn't make sense, which allows teams to get all these subsidies from the other teams and from Major League Baseball and not have to spend it to make the team better for the fans. So, that's a big thing. Again, I don't think fans know how much each team gets in those subsidies, central revenues, revenue sharing payments, and luxury tax proceeds. We've actually proposed in our last round of proposals, we proposed to make it clear that teams should disclose those things to fans, how much they get in revenue sharing, how much they get in luxury tax proceeds, which are hundreds of millions of dollars that goes to the lower revenue teams. So I think, if fans saw how much in the current system those teams actually get for the purpose of trying to help them compete, even though they don't all use it for that, I think that would be very, very eye-opening. And again, our proposals would actually allow them to receive even more, but subject them to stricter requirements to actually have to use the money for the intended purpose, which is to put a better team on the field.
This is really going to suck if we're being honest. That was Bruce Meyer, MLBPA guy, who's representing them in negotiations for the new CBA on foul territory. This is why this sucks. Because I like what the owners are doing. I like what the owners propose. I think it puts the Brewers and small market teams in a good position. Now here comes Bruce Meyer. He's smart, y'all. I respect the hell out of him. He's smart and he's going to be ruthless. But that answer right there was brilliant by Meyer. Absolutely freaking brilliant. Because he's telling you, hey, Milwaukee, guess what? Your owner is getting hundreds of millions of dollars essentially in revenue. And they're not spending it on payroll like they could be. And they're taking that money and they're pocketing that money and they're making more money.
He's shaming them into doing something, essentially.
So, this is the thing. We had those numbers, remember, Charlie, about what percentage of money coming in from the Major League revenue sharing were these teams spending? The Brewers weren't anywhere near the top. The Brewers were spending, like 40% of the money that they get towards payroll or whatever the case may be. The Dodgers were like 90% or something stupid like that. If they came through the MLBPA and said, okay, tell you what, we'll give into A, B, and C of what y'all want to do. We'll let you, cap us if you want at a max salary, but that max salary is going to go up by percentage year to year going forward. Plain and simple. So if the max salary is X in 2027, it's going up by 5 or 10% in the next year, 5 or 10% the next year, and it just keeps going up year by year. So you're not capped for the entire length of the CBA. So the CBA is 5 years. I would never agree to have that max contract be the same price for the entire 5-year run. Like, there's no way MLBPA is going to agree to that. There's going to have to be some type of race system. Now, let's say they go, okay, we'll agree to that. However, you owners now have to agree that percentage X has to be spent on payroll every year. As a small market fan, again, I'm all for that. If they said $330 million came to the Brewers in revenue, and you're only spending $130 million on payroll, and that's not even to include your own revenue that you're bringing in and everything else, if the agreement in the next CBA was you have to spend at least 60% of the money that you get in revenue on payroll going forward, that's every team has to do that. You may not even need a salary cap floor because everybody's payroll is going to have to go up significantly in order to spend the money that they're getting in revenue.
Significantly. It's going to be insane to watch what happens. And again, I think what Bruce Meyer is really pushing here is to just get all these teams to understand that they think they have a plan to still help out these small markets to get to that point, because everybody talks about with the Dodgers, the reason they're able to spend 97% is because they have the weird broadcasting deal where they don't have to pay anything for their broadcasting rights. So they have so much extra money to spend elsewhere. I think what I'm seeing right now is that owners slowly get towards an NBA style system of contracts, and they just keep adding one little piece by piece to get to that point and aren't just coming out and saying that's what they want. And I think if they want it that way, I think that's a lot easier of a thing to sell to the players in this situation, because you can still have the aprons, you can still have these teams that can spend a ton of money, and you can have the player options added into the ends of these contracts, of these 5-year contracts, where the players can decide if they want to move on and make money elsewhere, or you can redistribute money. Like, just go into that system, just go out there and propose that as the owners and get this over with. I feel like they would buy into that.
I just think right now, the more both sides talk in this, the more convinced I am they're missing months of baseball next year.
Seems like they're just
not a month, months. I think it's plural. And I just don't think there's going to be a lot of movement from the player side to begin with. So in order for this to progress, the owners are going to have to give first and then try and get whatever they want. They're not going to get a salary cap. They're just not. Like, it's unrealistic to think the Players Association, with Bruce Meyer leading it, is going to get that done. It's just not.
And Bruce Meyer on Foul Territory said the idea of a salary cap is the ultimate excuse for owners to not compete.
I always point out that the Brewers are literally the smallest market. Under our CBA, we have market score rankings.
Knew that was coming.
The Brewers are 30th out of 30, and they had the best record in baseball last year, and they're doing great again this year. Tampa is successful. So the notion that the lower revenue teams or the small market teams can't compete, the problem is that a lot of those owners choose not to compete. A lot of those owners are not doing everything they can to put the best team on the field every day and try for every win. And the fans know this. I mean, the fans, I often say the league is saying, hey, we're just listening to fans, but they're not listening to the fans all around baseball who are literally chanting and holding up signs that they want their owners to sell the team because they're not trying to compete. That part the league apparently is not listening to. So from our standpoint, every team has the ability to compete. And even under the current system, as you probably know, the lower revenue teams make massive amounts of money in subsidies from other teams like the Dodgers and other teams. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars they get in revenue sharing, in luxury tax proceeds, in central revenues. And then they'll go out and tell the public, we can't afford to compete. Well, we actually see a lot of the financials, and the league requires us to keep it confidential. And the league is not volunteering to show those books to the fans.
I don't know where to start. Number one, wouldn't it be something if they actually did open the books to their fans? Number one. Number two, it makes me cringe every time I hear them say, well, look at the Brewers. They're doing so well. They had the best record in baseball last year. Look at the Brewers. They're doing really well again this year.
It sucks to be the example in this situation.
Look at the Brewers. That's why you're never getting a salary cap. Look at the Brewers. That's why we're never going to agree to anything because the Brewers are so good. So the Brewers are being used as an example by the Major League Baseball Players Association of why there's no need for a salary cap, why there's no need to change the financial landscape of Major League Baseball because the Brewers have proven you can be a consistent winner, not a World Series winner, but a consistent winner nonetheless in Major League Baseball, and everybody should do it the Brewers way going forward. But again, the counter to that is this is fine, and you can use that, and you are absolutely right. But until these teams, small market teams, consistently start getting to and winning World Series, none of this matters. It just doesn't matter at the end of the day because you can go talk to a Brewers fan. Hey, are you happy? Yeah, it's great watching a winning team. I'm not sure I'll ever see a World Series in my lifetime, but it's cool watching a team winning the regular season, then to get smacked around by the highest payroll in baseball and the Dodgers. Again, if they go to the playoffs this year with what is a really good baseball team right now, and they get smacked around again by that Dodgers team, and the Dodgers go again, what then? What is their response to that? Well, at least you're competitive in the playoffs. 1 year, maybe it'll work out, and the Dodgers will be really hurt, and you can get on the run to the World Series. Because literally, that is going to be the only reasoning they're going to be able to give you as a fan if this same thing happens this season as happened last season.
But I think what's helping them on the other side of things is that the two teams we were just talking about in the last segment, the Chicago Cubs, the New York Mets, continue to struggle as much as they are so that they can turn around and say, yes, okay, the Dodgers, fine, win a World Series. But look, all these other teams that are spending stupid amounts of money, they're not playing that well. Like they're struggling too. They've made bad decisions. The Padres, to some degree, end up in that boat every single year because they make these big trades, they make big signings, and then they end up not making it to a World Series. There's still a lot of other teams that are spending the money too that are examples of not working out. But just because the Dodgers are working, they can argue that that doesn't result in championships for everybody else.
Here's Charlie using C. Sparky Pfeiffer here talking about the Zeus CBA proposal being thrown out there by the owners towards Major League Baseball Association, which, of course, was greeted with a loud middle finger for the most part.
Within 15 minutes. It was fast this time, too. The first proposal, it took like a day for them to kind of get their thing out. This time it was within 15 minutes. We're like, no, that's awful. We're not doing this.
But there is a strategy to this. You always, in a negotiation, do what? You ask for a really high amount knowing you're not going to get it, right? And then the counter proposal always comes in really low. And then over the course of time, you try and hopefully, if it's a negotiation, work more to a middle ground at the end of the day. Nobody ever goes into negotiation and asks for the number they expect to get. they ask for a higher number. And they figure that probably will get somewhere in the middle of the lower number from the other person and get to what you want. That essentially is what Major League Baseball is doing right now. Major League Baseball is going to the Players Association and giving them their Christmas wish list, knowing they're not going to get all of it, but also knowing that they want to at least get 3 or 4 things off of that in the new CBA that they don't have right now. So let's say they give them 10 to 15 things. I think Major League Baseball is happy if in the new CBA they get 3 of those things put in. I think they consider it a win, even if they don't get the salary cap. Let's talk about Wendy's. Listen up. Late night cravings, eat great, even late, because Wendy's is now open till midnight or later. You know you want the irresistible juicy Baconator loaded with 6 strips of oven-cooked bacon? Get yourself to Wendy's tonight before those midnight cravings become a full-blown hungry nightmare. Hours may vary by location, and Wendy's is the place that, I always go. In fact, my boss was in town today. Like, Sparky, do you all have Wendy's like every day? I was like, no, like 3 or 4 days, but
Sparky does.
Not every day. What?
You do. It feels like every
day. He asked
day
me
you
if I have Wendy's every day.
day.
I said, that is not true. I have Wendy's like 3 or 4 times, maybe a week, something like that. I don't think it's 7 days a week.
I would not be surprised if it's 7. There's been a time in your life, I bet, where you've had Wendy's 7 straight days for sure.
7 straight days?
Yeah.
No, not 7 straight days.
Like you never save some nuggets or a chicken sandwich the day after.
Okay, so let me ask you this: we're gonna get sidetracked and screw up. And did we already screw up yeah, we already screwed up sounds of the day. So we'll get to that at 4:00. Let me ask you: have you ever gone to the same place more than like 2 or 3 days in a row to eat?
No, not typically.
Yeah, so for me, Maddie's Bar and Grill in New Berlin, I was going there 5 days a week back in the day, probably, because I was doing
everything there too. So
I was doing the post game show with Tim Allen back in the day. So I would get done with the afternoon show or whatever, and then we would have the game on, and then we'd have post game. So I would literally be at Maddie's like every night having dinner at Maddie's, and then I'd come back, do the post game show, and then I'd go back to Maddie's and have a beverage or two. And then I'd go home like every day. But again, no kids, no nothing, just me and whatever I was paying for rent. So I was able to pull that off. But yeah, I was there probably like 5 days.
That's kind of impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew all the bartenders, all that. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did they like you or were they like,
yeah,
here comes Sparky again, man?
Well, again, I think I told you this right before. A couple of bartenders that were there now run Eagle Park Brewery.
Oh, very cool. I like Eagle Park.
Yeah, they were just kids back in the day, kid bartenders back in the day. And I remember when they started, I was like, what are you doing? We're just messing around with this beer thing. I was like, whatever. It's a good hobby to have.
Like
never in my
years
wildest dreams that I think Eagle Park would be that big of a deal. Charlie Hughes in there, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer here, Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, right here by the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. Your chance to win $5,000 here at Summerfest. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from Summerfest at the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. Your chance to win $5,000. All you got to do is be the first one to get a hole-in-one. It's an island hole. It's on a barge. $10 for 3 golf balls. Give it a shot. It's $5,000. Why wouldn't you spend $10 to try and win $5,000? I makes all the sense in the world to me. Joining us now, one of our guys. Trell joins us now on the guest line right there, brought to you by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. What's up, Trell?
Hey, Sparky, I'm going to make this fast, man.
I don't get what I just did. You don't even understand what I just did. I put you on the guest hotline like Tim Dillard is on and everybody else, and you just started talking like it was no big deal.
He's a pro, Sparky.
I was trying to make it a special deal for Trell, and he didn't even pay attention. Go ahead, Trell.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Okay, I don't think you stop trying to compete because, it's a team that everyone knows has a monster payroll.
Yep.
It's got a whole bunch of talent. They're just going to keep on adding to it because you never know. You still got to play the games. So I hope that's not the approach of Mark Andriaccio and the Brewers front office. But I think I just wanted to lead this right here with you because I've been thinking about this. Why does everybody keep talking about Scooble for the Brewers? Why not talk about a 2-player package from the Boston Red Sox, and you send a haul of prospects from maybe a couple high to a couple medium to a couple low prospects. Sonny Gray and my boy William Contreras' brother, Wilson Contreras.
I don't want Wilson
What you mean,
Contreras
though?
on my team.
I
We've
like
got
it.
enough damn first baseman on this team. I don't need another first baseman.
It doesn't,
Not
Sparky.
Wilson
I'm
Contreras.
talking about the bat. I don't care about that.
Well, where's the bat going to play? He can't play third base. Where are you playing him?
He can play first base and DH for all I care.
But you've got
Because
Vaughn and Bowers.
Huh?
You have Vaughn and Bowers. Why do I need Wilson
Bowers plays
Contreras?
outfield sometimes, though.
Yes, he does. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So I listen. This is my fear. If we don't do something to upgrade the hitting, Yost is going to fail us in the postseason. I'm sorry to tell you. So if you want to keep on going there saying he's a lifelong Brewer and all these great things about him, he's going to be our Achilles heel in the playoffs because we always put them
So this is about Yelich. This is about Yelich at the end of the day, more than it's about Bowers or Vaughn. This is about Yelich.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the end.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I'll address this on the other side. Thanks for the call, Trevor. We got to get to the top of the hour update. Sonny Gray has a mutual option for 2027 at $30 million. Charlie, $30 million. He'll be 37. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily live out here at Summerfest. Charlie Sounds of the Day is next.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome in. We are live at Summerfest, baby, right by the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. $5,000 on the line for the first person to get a hole-in-one here at Summerfest at the Hole-in-One Challenge. $10 get you 3 golf balls, 3 opportunities to put that ball on the green and in the hole. That's an island hole. So, again, come check it out. Give it a try. The sun has finally come out here at Summerfest. Still cold, but makes it feel a little bit warmer. Highly suggest jackets, sweatshirts for tonight if you're coming out here to watch a show or just hang out and walk around like Charlie is going to do. Before we get to Charlie's Sounds of the Day that normally we do at 3:40, but we moved it back, I want to go back to what Trell said. So before the break, Trell said, look, forget Scooble in Detroit. Don't worry about that. Make a deal with Boston. Go get Sonny Gray from Boston and go get Wilson Contreras from Boston and make that deal instead. I don't like that deal, mainly for 2 reasons. One, I don't trust Sonny Gray's health at all. That's the first reason. The second reason is I definitely don't want Wilson Contreras. Now, my reasoning for not wanting Wilson Contreras, William Contreras' brother, was because A, I've never liked him. Cubs, Red Sox, or any other team he's played on, Cardinals. B, they don't need another first baseman. They've got Vaughn and Bowers. Both are doing very well. Trell's point was he doesn't trust Yelich in the postseason because Yelich has not been good in the postseason. That is a fair question about a player going into the postseason. But they are not going to sit Christian Yelich for anybody in the postseason as the designated hitter. It just, there's no chance that Pat Murphy is sitting that guy in the postseason, Charlie. I just don't see how that happens.
Yeah, no, he's too much a part of the heart and culture of this team, like I was talking about before, that if you're going to have a big moment in franchise history, he has to be in the lineup, I think. Yes. And I think it's going to happen because he's in the lineup and because he's helping be a leader and a part of this team and part of that culture. I think if I were to make a trade for 2 players from the Red Sox, I'd rather go out there and say Aroldis Chapman and Jarren Duran, get rid of Sal Frelick, throw in a couple top prospects like we were talking about, and make a deal like that and get players that can actually help you in places where you're already not overloaded, where you need the extra bump to get the team going and get over that hump.
I got a text coming in, the Nicolay Law Talk text line. Marquee game today with Mizorowski on the mound, and it's only available on Apple TV. Total crap. 1,000% agree with you. I don't have Apple TV. I'm not buying Apple TV, which means I'm not watching Mizorowski, which means I will be listening on the radio or some other way, or just watching like the little Gamecast box score on my phone. That will be how I monitor it because I'm not buying Apple TV under any circumstance. So, yes, I totally agree with you on that. All right, time for Charlie's Sounds of the Day.
1, 2, 3. What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Charlie, will Sparky become enraged?
I don't think you're going to get mad this today. I think you're going to be
Friday.
Yeah.
Your job on Fridays is to make sure I leave happy on Fridays. So this should be good. We have Plead the Fifth coming up in the next segment.
On Fridays. It's not my job for me on Fridays.
Plead the Fifth is coming up in the second segment, brought to you by Habish Rotier. Your chance to tell somebody just that you talk too much, you're making yourself look bad. You can nominate whoever you'd like, and you can start doing that now if you'd like. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. We'll get to your calls, your texts, all that stuff coming up in the second segment. We do it each and every Friday. But right now, Charlie's Sounds of the Day. Where to?
I think 2 of the clips you're going to be happy with. You're gonna be nice and like to talk about. The third clip, I think you're going to be a little conflicted with your feelings.
Well, let's get to that last then.
The first clip we'll hear from Tom Brady. He was on a podcast called We Are the Overlap, and he was discussing Aaron Rodgers and how much talent he has with his arm.
I think there's no greater passer of the football than Aaron Rodgers. It would be like someone kicking the ball. I mean, there's certain people like, Roberto Carlos, the Brazilian, the way that he kicked that ball. I mean, there's certain people you're like,
Yeah.
You see everyone do it, and then you see one person throw the ball that much better. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was incredible. He's hard to put into words how incredible he passes the ball.
Yeah.
The ball, the way it comes out of his hand, the way that it spins and delivers with the pace and with the accuracy, I think
it's like a bullet coming out.
It's like a bullet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hard to agree with the cheater Tom Brady on that take whatsoever. I think that's pretty accurate as far as, again, just analyzing everything, as far as how hard he throws it, as far as the touch he puts on certain passes. That back shoulder throw was a killer to Jordy Nelson for years, and the timing that has to be there between those two guys to make that work. Again, if we're going to talk about what's the knock was he held the ball too long. And every offensive lineman that played for him would agree with me on that. He held the damn ball too long. Pat, because he didn't want to throw an interception. I don't think he really wanted to run either. So he was trying to use his arm up to the very last moment in time and essentially gave his offensive linemen a bunch of sacks that they probably didn't deserve that are now on their record for the rest of their lives, unfortunately. But that dude is a Hall of Fame quarterback, a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. You may not think he's a first ballot Hall of Fame dude, but he is definitely a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback that unfortunately ended up with only one ring in his career, and he definitely deserved more than one ring.
100%. I think the way he played.
Charlie leaned into the microphone when he said 100%.
I don't like. I'm, as you know, grew up a Bears fan, still am a Bears fan, but watching Aaron Rodgers every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, whatever it was primetime TV for me too. Like, you had to sit down and watch him and just be in awe of what he was able to do and what all these other teammates around him were willing to do for him too. They just bought into who Aaron Rodgers was as a player, and it just worked. You saw that everybody was on the same page, and it's because he made sure they were on the same page. And yeah, he may have done it in a little more of an aggressive way than Jordan Love would do it right now, like we talked about yesterday. But at the same time, he is still going out there and playing winning football that I think just didn't end up winning football when it counted. And that was what's unfortunate.
And like Giannis, there's no chance I'll ever root for that dude on another uniform ever. And now he's on the Steelers, who I've hated the Steelers a majority of my life. There's no chance I'm rooting for him on the Steelers.
What did the Steelers do to you?
A lot. As an Indianapolis Colts fan, it cost me a lot of heartbreak in my life.
That's fair. I forgot. I always forget about the Colts.
Screw them. Okay, what's number 2?
Next up, we're going to head on over to the Field of 68, where Jeff Goodman was on the show over there, and he was discussing the Bucs and why he thinks they could be the winners of the draft.
I think it was the Bucs. I think the Bucs. I mean, again, anybody can pick Washington because they took AJ, or Utah, the Angels, because they were fortunate enough to get Darren Peterson at 2. But I thought what John Horst did, and again, now you're talking about building for the future. You know, they didn't trade for Jaylen Brown when they got rid of Giannis. They got a younger package of players and picks and whatnot. And I thought what he did getting Braden Burries at 9 and then Nate Ament at 13, you're talking about 2 guys that could be starters, high-level players.
I can't really tell you that I don't like Jeff Goodman, but I definitely can't tell you that I do like Jeff Goodman. I'm conflicted about Jeff Goodman. He's got that great podcast. What is it, Field of 68 or whatever it's called? Eventually be a field of 300 by the time they're done with that tournament. But either way, I respect his take on a lot of stuff, what he says about college basketball. The dude knows his stuff, right? That's what he does for a living. So when you get compliments from him about the players that you take, I think my suggestion would be take it and say, thank you very much. We'll take more of those if at all possible. The dude watched both of their, Amon just got there, but he watched their careers at Arizona and Tennessee in the short time that they were where they were, and then can give an accurate assessment. This whole draft comes down to how good Nate Amon is. It's plain and simple. Like, it doesn't even matter about Burries. If he's, what everybody thinks he is, which is a solid rotational player, that's great, but that's not going to win you a championship. You need superstars to win you a championship. And if Amon pans out, that's what everybody's going to remember from this draft class going forward. And they're going to be like, they won the Giannis trade. Simple. If they get one perennial star out of this entire trade package, and Giannis is there for 3 or 4 years and gone, and they don't win a championship, everybody will say the Bucks won this.
If Burries is an all-star, like perennial all-star, like he pans out, but Amen doesn't, does that like matter? Or are people still going to talk about the fact that Amen was the Giannis trade pick?
So you're saying if Burries is what? Ray Allen?
Like he ends up being a stud. He's better than everybody thinks. He's really good. Maybe not, winning championships for you, but is an all-star type of player.
Yeah,
he's going up there. Do people do they forget it then about the Amen being the Giannis pick?
I think if they get a perennial all-star, let's just break it down to that. If they get somebody that's in the all-star game every year, that is that guy, and Giannis does not win a championship in Miami for 3 or 4 years, and they get literally one, they've got a bunch of picks coming. If they just get one guy that's here for like 10 years and is in the all-star game every year, and Giannis doesn't finish in Miami, Bucks win the deal. Plain and simple. Doesn't matter what happens with the other picks. Doesn't matter if Giannis wins 60 games every year in Miami, but they don't ever finish and hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy. It does not matter. That will not be deemed a successful story in Miami. And in Milwaukee, it will be deemed a success if they get a long-term replacement that can be that guy.
Yeah, for sure. And clip number 3 here, Sparky. I think Hallmark was thinking directly of you when they decided to do this.
Hallmark,
what's going on, Bears fans? It's Coach Johnson.
Colston Lovell here. We've got some huge news for you, and it's coming this Christmas.
The Chicago Bears are teaming up with the Hallmark Channel,
the NFL, and Skydance Sports
for a holiday touchdown, a Bears love story coming this Christmas.
The one's for fans and everybody who rides with us in Bear Nation.
My wife Jessica and I will definitely be tuning in for this one.
More to share soon. Until then, bear down.
Bear down.
See why I said you'd be conflicted?
Oh, that's awful. Oh, my God, that's awful. Come on, Packers. Why couldn't you have done this? Matt LaFleur couldn't have worked in a Hallmark Christmas movie. Jordan Love couldn't. Its name is Love. How is that not in a Hallmark Christmas movie?
Didn't they just do like some kind of it wasn't like Hallmark, but didn't they do some kind of Packers themed movie up in Packerland that was like all kind of cool? Everybody was excited about that. They got their movie. Let the Bears have
the same thing. It's not the same thing as the Hallmark movie. I mean, Buffalo's had one, Kansas City's had one, and now Chicago gets one. Come on, Green Bay, get in the middle of this. You've got the snow and everything right there, as does Chicago, but you have Lambeau Field for
Sparky,
God's
you
sake.
should see.
You have the Titletown District. You have the sled. You put some kids into the story. You can have some horses walking through Titletown. Like, I'll write the movie. I'll do the Hallmark movie.
You should see.
The fact that the Bears get a Hallmark movie, not the Packers, just makes me sick.
Even though it's a Bears one, you should see if you can cameo in it. It's close enough. You could be like the angry Packers fan in the background or something. See if you can get in that way. And then you can pitch the Packers one from there.
Yeah.
See that you just got to get your foot in the door, Sparky. I got you.
I'm in. In our building in Milwaukee, we got a guy named Brett Andrews who is on the air. He's been on the air for 100 years in Milwaukee because he's old like me. And he's got like kid actors that have acted in like TV shows.
I bet he's got a connection for you.
Produced and stuff in Chicago. Yeah, I'm going to talk to him and see. Be like, okay,
there you go.
So what's the best way? When it was the Kansas City Chiefs, our sister station in Kansas City, one of their personalities ended up getting in the movie. And he was the one that didn't care that it was Hallmark, didn't care about the movie, only went because everybody else was going. He's like, whatever, fine, I'll go. He got called back. The ones that were all about being in the movie, love Hallmark, didn't get the call back. Isn't that how it always works?
Oh, that's how it'd be. Oh, okay. We can all go down as a network, and we can all try out together.
Yes.
And then we can see who they pick.
Yes.
If it's not you, you're going to be so devastated.
If it's Thunder, I'm going to cry. Just anybody but Nellis. I cannot handle that. If Nellis ends up in a Hallmark movie.
Well, Tommy Wirtz has too much star attraction. I don't know if they could pass up on that.
Tommy Wirtz would be like Norm sitting at the bar in Cheers, right? I mean,
yeah.
If we were to recast Cheers on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, he's Norm.
Or he's like Channing Tatum in 21 Jump Street.
Channing Tatum?
I think that's what he would say.
We're talking about Tommy. No, he's not. What are you talking about Channing Tatum for Tommy Wirtz? Get out of here. No. Who would be Cliff on Cheers? Who would be the mailman?
Probably Thunder, right?
Yeah, it might be Thunder.
Probably Thunder.
Yeah, I could.
I don't know enough about Cheers. I know like just of it and like the characters.
That's going to be your homework, Charlie. Your
Sounds
homework.
good.
homework because I'm not here next week, Monday through Thursday. So Tim Allen is in for me at the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is going to be Thunder in out here at State Fair for me, so that'll be fun. And then Friday I'll be back here, but then Charlie is gone for a couple of days.
Yeah, I don't think
so
I'm going to have.
You return.
I'm not going to have internet camping, Sparky. I don't think I'm going to be able to do your homework that you're about to ask.
You're doing what?
I'm going camping. I'm not going to have internet to do the homework that you're going to ask.
Where the heck are you going that doesn't have internet?
I told you up by Lake Superior. Like
they don't have internet.
I guess not.
What is it? The 1920s? What are we talking about? Yes, they're going to have internet. Stop. So you have a week to do this. You have today. You have tomorrow. You have Sunday. You have Monday. You have Tuesday. You have Wednesday, and then you leave. So you have plenty of time. I want you to sit down and watch a couple episodes of Cheers, and then when I come back on the 6th, I want you to lay out who you think would be who in the cast of Cheers.
All right.
Recast Cheers with the personalities from Wisconsin Sports Radio.
I'm going to do that, then over the next couple of weeks, you got to find some episodes of Trailer Park Boys, and you have to watch Trailer Park Boys. Then we can recast Trailer Park Boys too, Sparky.
How many people are there in this?
Enough. Yeah, enough.
So enough to have like all these different people on our network recast as somebody else?
I think so. For sure.
So who would I be?
Ray. You're definitely not Ricky or Julian, for sure.
So when I watch this, I'll have an idea of like, okay, Charlie.
Yeah, you'll have an idea. You're not Bubbles either.
Thank God I'm not some guy named Bubbles. That's positive. That sounds like Tommy. Bubbles.
Yeah, Tommy might be Bubbles. Tommy's kind of a Ricky. I don't know. Yeah, there's plenty. There's plenty of characters.
All right, very good. So I'll figure that out and we'll see what happens. Okay, was that all 3 clips? Yeah,
that was all 3.
That's heartbreaking. The Bears get a Hallmark Christmas movie this winter, and the Packers don't. That just sucks. Okay, take a quick time. I'll come back. Time for Plead the Fifth, brought to you by Habish, and Rotier. And I am looking forward to seeing what we have. And you can nominate whoever you'd like. Call in, text in, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Make sure to jump aboard. Don't forget the Minions really wanted to impress their new big boss, Wendy's, so they cooked up some fun chaos for the fans. Say hello to the Minions and Monsters meal, featuring one of 4 unique collectibles, new banana and frosty swirl, and choice of a big bacon classic or spicy chicken sandwich, plus a small fry. It's time to go bananas over this exclusive Wendy's experience. Limited time only. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at Summerfest by the X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. $5,000 is on the line for the first person to get a hole-in-one out here at Summerfest. $10 gets you 3 chances to try and get that hole-in-one. Coming out here and give it a try. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily out here at Summerfest. Breeze is blowing. I've been telling everybody it's cold. Tommy Wirtz walks up, takes off his flat, says, "It's so hot out here." So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just weird. But me personally, I would say wear a jacket, sweatshirt. But there are plenty of people walking around here in shorts and seeming not to care about it. So up to you. I would just advise maybe bring one with just in case. Maybe you'll be cool out here. Out here by the X Golf Hole in One Challenge. First one to get a hole in one wins $5,000, $10 for 3 golf balls, and away you go over there. Again, this is day 5, and nobody yet has won the hole in one challenge. It is 4:20 on a Friday, 4:25 technically. What does that mean, Charlie?
It's a Plead the Fifth Friday, sponsored by Habish and Rotier. Who should have just kept their mouth shut? Who made a bad decision commenting on a topic they shouldn't have? Let's hear who you think should plead the fifth this week on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, Charlie Usen, it is time to plead the fifth. You can nominate anybody that you'd like. You can nominate somebody on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. You can nominate callers on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. You can nominate personalities in the sports world, athletes, coaches, managers. You can nominate people in your own family, friends, people at Summerfest, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Just make sure to use this number, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. And otherwise, our guy Charlie Usen always has some stuff loaded up, ready to go for Plead the Fifth. Where are we going first?
First, I'm going to head on over to the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250, where somebody in the 920 said, "I'm Woody from Cheers," which I knew was Woody Harrelson's character. So I was like, oh, that's cool. That's awesome. And I looked it up, and then the description says he's simple-minded, though. So then I'm like, okay, that's a little rude. Simple-minded but kind-hearted. I was like, okay, I guess it's a little backhanded and rude. So I don't know how to feel about that.
Hey, I don't mind that. You know, we call you Chicago Charlie. Maybe it should be the simple-minded Charlie.
Oh,
the
thanks so much. I appreciate
it. I like it.
Somebody else said, I think this is the same guy in 920, says Sparky's the old guy bartender.
Yeah, like the manager that's been there like 100 years. The short dude.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Short dude who's been here 100 years. Yeah, sounds about
not
right.
Ted Danson, but the other guy. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Coach. They call him Coach on the show.
And then one more here. Somebody from the 4 and 4 says, "I nominate Tommy for Plead the Fifth for not speaking English today and saying the Miz will shove." What the hell is that? Sparky, what does shove mean?
Shove means he's going to pitch really well.
Yeah.
Which I understand the not speaking English part. It's okay. If you just listen to our shows enough, Tommy and Charlie will, what'd you say?
Aaron Morse was over here clapping for you.
Yeah. Everybody over here is clapping too. But again, if you're old like me, Tommy and Charlie will try and make you hip. Thunder, not going to make you hip. John Kuhn, Mason Crosby, they're not going to make you hip either. Josh, and this Roosevelt shirts, I'm not sure that's hip. But so, yeah, I mean, Charlie and Tommy, they'll try and help you out. I'm not sure on Aaron yet. I don't got a vibe on Aaron, whether or not he has the same mode as you two.
I think he does. Yeah, I feel like I get the vibe, you know. He feels he's going to be a cool guy, part of the cool guy group.
Right? Yeah, fair enough. Don't worry, Aaron. You'll eventually fall out of that group if he changes his mind. All right, where are we going first?
All right, so first up here, you were talking about with Keith Tozer earlier in the show, but this is Mauricio Pochettino, I think is how you say it, the head coach of the USA men's team, and he was discussing how confused he was as to why the reporters weren't congratulating him.
For you not to say congratulations that we won the group, that is a little bit sad. It's very positive to finish in the way that we finish. Cannot be possible, I'm sorry guys, it cannot be possible that Turkey finish celebrating the 3-point and Australia celebrating the qualification, Paraguay celebrating the qualification, and come here and for you not to say congratulations that we won the group. That is a little bit sad, but only that. I need to remember you and everyone that we won the group. Sorry, guys, we won.
We talked about this earlier with Keith Tozer, legendary coach from the Milwaukee Wave, commissioner of the MASL, about the World Cup when we did this at 240. Again, he's not from here, so clearly doesn't understand how it works. But, dude, they hadn't scored a goal in their first 2 matches. You gave up 3. Not only did you lose, you didn't lose 1-0 on their only goal of the World Cup. You gave up 3 goals and lost that bad boy. And it was almost a tie because it was at, what was it, the 96th minute or something like that? They were in extra time at that point when Turkey scored that goal to beat the USA last night. And for him to say, whoa, you should be congratulating us for going to the round of 32 to play Bosnia on Wednesday. Well, with all due respect, dude, you just won 2 in a row. You should have won all 3 of these and had real good momentum going in. But that is my thing. And like Tozer said earlier, he's like, Sparky, you know how this is going to go. If they lose against Bosnia, people are going to blame that on him, on not playing his A lineup, playing his B lineup, and treating it like an exhibition game, essentially, and not keeping the foot on the pedal. And then Bobby's out there telling France, I'm playing. I don't give a damn what y'all think. I'm playing. I want to win. They put up 4 or 5 goals or whatever it is. Again, it's just 2 completely different mentalities as far as how you attack this thing. This is the World Cup. Your country that you're coaching is hosting it. There were expectations that maybe they could maybe even get to 16. Can they get to 16 still? Yes. Can they beat Bosnia? Sure. Is it going to be high scoring? Nope. It could be a 1-0 winner. It could be literally like that at the end of the day because of how Bosnia plays defense. So, when he said that last night, I was completely astounded by how you don't understand why people were frustrated by that match last night.
Well, and also it's just the beginning. Like, you haven't even really gotten into the real tournament yet. Yeah, this round, the group stage is a lot of fun to watch, but like to go out there and start like that and ask for the congratulations, just calm down, dude. It's fine. It's fine. They'll congratulate you when you do better. They'll congratulate you when you're done. Like, that's how that works. You're not done yet. So like, keep playing. Don't worry about it.
Totally agree with you. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, proudly outfitted by Burkhardt Sporting Goods, our official apparel partner. Outfit your team or company with custom apparel today at BSG1881.com. Again, that's BSG1881.com. What else you got, Charlie?
Next up, we're going to head on over to First Take because I feel like we haven't put this guy on there in a while. Stephen A. Smith would like to join, plead the fifth. He was discussing Jaylen Brown calling him and ESPN out for the way that they've been reporting about the superstar from Boston.
I don't think it's an accident that he went out of the country spewing that nonsense because we're all tired of hearing from him here because he's making absolutely positively no sense. You know, Jaylen Brown I can't believe what he has tried to make this into. You know, now the entire ESPN network is unethical. How are we unethical? What did we do to Jaylen Brown? I want to remind everybody, all of this is because Jaylen Brown, a champion, an NBA Finals MVP, and this year, a top candidate for league MVP honors, lost a 3-1 lead in the first round to the Philadelphia 76ers and went on the air less than 24 hours later and called it his favorite season. This is after taking the Boston Celtics to 6 conference finals, 2 NBA Finals appearances, winning a championship, and a Finals MVP. This is also while Jason Tatum was on the bench for over 60 games this year due to his Achilles tear before coming back and having to sit out again. That's what all of this is about. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't about something else that happened. There's nothing else that happened behind the scenes or anything like that. This is about a grown-ass man acting like a child.
Is that it?
That's it. I wanted to get to that part.
Obviously, I'm not going to take Stephen A's side on this, but this whole Jaylen Brown thing that he's getting slammed for what he said, I get it to a certain degree, man. Like, we're being honest. I mean, he got to go be the guy because of Tatum's injury that nobody thought he could be. Nobody thought that team would even be even close to being a top 4 seed in the East when Tatum was done for the year. They thought it was going to be like Indiana and Halliburton being out, that they're not going to be very good. And he and the others on that team apparently had a blast and went out there and shocked the world and won a bunch of basketball games, right? And it did it in a different fashion, but we still were very successful. Yes, he blew a 3-1 lead. And it's not he, they is what he should have said. Blew a 3-1 lead. So do I get it? Yeah, I get it to a certain degree because nobody thought. It was like David versus Goliath probably in Jaylen Brown's mind as far as how people viewed him and viewed that team and their chances of doing anything. Do you want to say it 24 hours after? Yeah, probably you don't want to say it 24 hours after. Do I get the mentality and the thought process behind it? Probably. Look, man, you might, I mean, I don't know how even to go about doing this or comparing this to real life or whatever the case may be, but sometimes even when you're down and out and you're having a blast, sometimes that's more fun when everything is going right. As crazy as that may sound, I mean, you can just talk about, like from a radio station perspective or whatever the case may be. You may not have great ratings, but everybody's having a blast and having a great time. And then by the time you get to the point where you're having a bunch of great ratings, everybody may be all stressed out, uptight, and everything else, and it may not be as much fun anymore, even though you're far more successful, as a radio station. That's the only thing I come up with to even make a remote comparison to. I can't figure out how to compare this to anybody working in any other aspect of life, so I apologize for that. But that's kind of the comparison I come up with. I don't have as much issues as everybody else does with the Jaylen Brown thing. I just don't. He got put in a situation that nobody thought they could get it done. They did. He was the leader of it, and he was proud of himself. So I got no issues with it. All right, going on.
And last up here, we're going to head on over to the Philadelphia Phillies, where they were playing in Washington the past couple of games. Bryce Harper hit a clutch home run late in last night's game, where Phillies fans prior to him hitting, or not Phillies fans, Nats fans prior to him hitting that home run were chanting F Bryce Harper at him. As he hit that home run, he trotted around the bases with his ring finger up, pointed at them, and then responded after the game with this clip.
Fly ball, left field, that's hit well. Lyles going back toward the wall. Gone! Opposite field, 2-run home run. Bryce Harper, the ninth inning magic, strikes again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, ring finger though. So make sure that's out there. Yeah, I mean, obviously, everybody heard it. We heard it the other night. We were doing something with Trey. Which is crazy because they probably know the history a little bit of him in the World Series here. But yeah, it's part of it. I love coming here and playing here. I'm very familiar with the ballpark. And I love getting here. It's a big home here. It's a big event here as well. So I love playing here. So it's definitely familiar place for me.
I'm not quite sure that would ever happen with any Wisconsin sports team, of a superstar that wins you a championship, and then you come back and then you're chanting that at them.
He didn't win them a championship. He left the year before they won the championship.
I guess, whatever.
I don't. That's why it was weird that he was running around with his ring finger flipped. I was like, "What are you talking about? That wasn't you. You didn't do that."
He was there though to help build that back up. Him and Steven Strasburg helped build that thing back into where it was. They were at dirt level before they drafted those two guys. They were kind of responsible for building it back up. But either way, I mean, the guy was a superstar with the Nationals, regardless if there's a ring or not. And to think that he leaves and then comes back now, maybe he said a bunch of negative stuff that I'm not aware of about D.C., about the fans in D.C. and whatever else. If he did that, well, I mean, be careful what you say because those fans aren't going to forget. But if that's not the case and they just decided that they were going to go at him, I mean, could you imagine that happening with Giannis or with Rodgers? I mean,
that's why I played this clip.
Half the fan base hated Brett Favre. You never heard that chant towards Brett when he came back to Green Bay. It never happened.
And I don't think you're going to hear that with Giannis at all whenever he comes back to Milwaukee. It's only going to be cheers. Like you were saying, we're probably in more of a threat of people cheering for him when he scores a basket.
Yes, that's I think there's a real possibility that happens once Giannis comes back for sure. Is that all of them?
That's all of them.
Beautiful thing. Coming up next, we have got to go to our guy, Austin Herdania, over there at the Potawatomi Sportsbook for Follow the Money. And I am anxious to see where all the money is. And I'm anxious to see if they won or lost money on Team USA last night as they lost to Turkey. Hey, it's not all just about betting at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. There's a big food menu filled with a bunch of new items. And let's start with the all-day brunch with steak and eggs, a steak and bagel sandwich, pancakes, and more. Wisconsin-style appetizers feature a lot of cheese, of course. It's all got things like chicken wings and tenders, build-your-own burgers, desserts, and pastries made each and every day. at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel, featuring an MVP Turtle Sundae and tons of cold beverages. Over 40 beers on tap there at the Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen. Over a dozen different specialty cocktails. You have the shuttle to and from Brewers home games, including this weekend for those rival Cubs as they're in town. All you do is go over there and make a $5 purchase at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and you are ready to rock and roll. Ask for your bracelet, and you're good to go there. So, again, check them out. Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you want to reserve your seat ahead of time, you can do that, too, by going to Potawatomi.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino. Bet above the rest. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at Summerfest. X-Golf Hole-in-One Challenge going on. $5,000 still on the line for the first person to get a hole-in-one here at Summerfest. $10 gets you 3 golf balls, 3 chances to get that hole-in-one.
Dude, you can't say anything
It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook at Summerfest. X Golf Hole-in-One Challenge. If you're the first one to get a hole-in-one here at Summerfest, you win $5,000. $5,000, people. And if you're like, Sparky, if I come tomorrow and you're not there, how do I know if I have a chance to win $5,000? The people here at Summerfest told me if the $5,000 is won, they will simply essentially cross it out on the little board in front of where you go in to hit. So if you're questioning, is it still out there to be had? That's how to know. So I said, all right, good to know. I'll pass along that information. Joining us now is our guy.
You were off screen. I don't know. He just threw me on screen. I was helping you.
It's our time to follow money with our guy, Austin Herdania from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. How are we doing, Austin?
Very good. Look at this. I get all three of you today. This is awesome.
It's just it's a dream scenario for anybody.
It's like Tommy's there. Might as well throw him up.
Yeah, the big old hunk of love is out here too. He's as usual very, very happy about things.
Look at that. I mean, he's had a new shirt and tie every week since you tried to call him out that he never changes it.
I don't think so. Isn't that the same one from before? I don't think that's true. I don't. Is that, have you worn that before?
Different. This is like a grayish shirt with a Milwaukee Brewers tie on.
Oh, nice. Yeah, all right. That's cool. All right. I'm down with that.
Some of us noticed. Hey. Yeah, I got it.
Charlie noticed, or Tommy notices because he's trying to find some fashion. So he's trying to follow your lead on that. Hey, Austin, I want to know this. How many people do you have rolling in there that are from Illinois and Chicago? Do you get much traffic from there, or only when the Cubs are or the White Sox are in town?
Yeah, I mean, we get some, but I mean, like this weekend especially, much more than normal. We've had a good amount of people coming in today wearing their Cubs gear. You just kind of assume they're from Illinois. If they are from Wisconsin, that's terrible. They're traitors. But there's
a lot of those.
Seems like they're from Illinois coming in. But yeah, I mean, they're coming in to watch the Cubs get beat tonight. That's what's going to happen.
I would think so. All right, so number one game being bet on right now at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We do this segment for you, the novice gambler who doesn't follow lines, doesn't even know how to make a bet. We're here for you because he's going to tell you where all the real gamblers put their money, and then you can choose to roll with them when you go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook tonight or whatever, or root against them. And again, you take their shuttle. You got to make a $5 purchase there at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So just listen to whoever he says right here. Take your $5. Do what everybody else is doing. Yes, I know. They tell you to jump in the lake. You're going to jump in the lake. Well, in this case, you are. Austin Herdania, where's all the money?
So all the money right now is going on the Brewers, which is no surprise.
Yep.
Got Miz on the mound. Total 8.5 strikeouts for Miz. A lot of money coming in on that on the over as well. Seems like that's the trend it's been for the last month or two, is every time he's pitching, people are hammering the Brewers and the over on his strikeouts. Total for the game right now is 7. That kind of makes you kind of think it's going to be more of a pitcher's
7
duel.
for the Brewers?
7 for both teams combined.
I know. I was joking. This is the thing. But there is no way in my mind. How do they get to 7? How does that even happen? I mean, unless they're saying Mizorowski's going to have a bad game, which he might. He is overdue for a bad game. Overdue to have a stinker of a game here at some point. So maybe that does happen tonight. But until that happens, don't you just go in assuming he's going to allow damn near 1 or less in every game at this point?
I think that's what we're all expecting. I mean, as a fan of the Brewers and all the people, buying tickets going to the game tonight, they want to see Miz dominate. They'll be happy to see a 2-0 win for the Brewers. I
had 2 ladies out here earlier. They said they were from Illinois. They drove up here to see the Brewers-Cubs game only because Mizorowski was pitching tonight. That's the only reason they came up. There were 3 females. They're like, we just want to see him pitch. That's it. That's the only reason they came up.
Yeah, he's making national headlines. I mean, he's the leader for the Cy Young right now in our betting. He's a story. I mean, he's the kind of guy that's looking like he's going to be. If he could keep this up, he might be open. He might be the starter in the All-Star game in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Yep. And that's really going to stink for those Phillies fans that were mad last year that he went over Sanchez, and now he's going to start over Sanchez in their stadium. Oh boy, not good. Okay. Second game. Where's the money at in the second game?
A lot of people are interested in this Uruguay-Spain game tonight in the World Cup. We got a lot of bets coming in on Spain on that one. A lot of futures on Spain. That's the team we're getting the most bet on.
Yeah.
Besides USA. USA is, last night having that loss was a rough way to go at the end of the game, but definitely a lot of bettors in here watching that game. It was awesome.
Did you guys win money on that one?
We did, yeah. It was something where everyone was pretty much betting USA. So anytime, big favorite, like big team like that where the fans are betting, if they lose, it's going to be a rough night for them.
Bosnia USA is going to be a tight match. I don't know which way you go on that one. I think that one is a little bit more up in the air. Austin Herdina, as always, thank you so much for coming on. People, if they come down there, if they make a bid on their tie, would you sell it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
Minus 110 on someone gives Austin an odds today on his tie.
I'm just saying, go buy that tie right off of Austin Herdina.
Real quick, Sparky, I want to let you know we just bought 2 brand new shuttles that we're going to be putting into service very soon. They are going to be holding up to 25 people. Right now, they hold the ones we currently use are 18 people. We're running 3 of those tonight because we know how much busier it's going to be with the Cubs matchup this weekend. But we just bought some new shuttles as well. So look for those coming up soon.
No doubt. And my picture on the back of both of them looks amazing. Austin, thank you so much. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
There he goes. Austin Herdina, Potawatomi Sportsbook. Again, shuttles to and from the game. $5 purchase made at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Get on that shuttle. It's free to park at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You're going to pay, what, $30 at least?
Well, I know it's weekend and Cubs
right.
today, so it's
double bubble.
Easily got to be a $30.
At least $30, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook, take their free shuttle. It's not really free. You got to pay the $5 purchase.
Yeah, but it's the only one that offers a chance to pay you to take it.
Correct.
Like you get to place your $5 wager.
Bet on the Brewers and Mizorowski. If they win, you get your money back when you come back on the shuttle.
Easy money.
He's Tommy Wirtz right there, the big old hunk of love.
I saw your eyes perk up when he was mentioning that Uruguay game.
Yes. Yeah, I don't trust Spain, so I would not bet Spain. He is Tommy Wirtz, Charlie Wirtz over there. Tommy Houston. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
I'm not even going to let you do it as a joke. I'm not going to let you do it as a joke. I'm not letting him do it as a joke.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm being nice to you tonight, Charlie. Be nice. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Have a good weekend. I'll see you next Friday back out here at Summerfest. Tim Allen in for me on Monday. Have a good night, Wisconsin. Toodles.